Hey, what up, guys and gals? How you doing? It's JG. It says right there on the little Chiron. That's not really a Chiron, is it? It's not moving. But it's a graphic nonetheless. It is great to be here on another beautiful day for basketball action. It's time between the Auburn Tigers and the Georgia Bulldogs, live from Stegeman Coliseum. I am not live there. And you're not either, probably. But we're going to watch this bad boy on the television set and get this thing going. Let's bounce over to our main page here, getting a little scouting report for the Georgia Bulldogs, which is that they shoot the ball reasonably well, better on defense than they are on attacking, and they play very well at home. You look at those games over there, the conference losses, Mississippi losing to Ole Miss, that's on the road. Got crushed by Tennessee recently. That was on the road. So they play a lot better at home. And Auburn plays well everywhere, so this is going to be an interesting one. Mike White, the former Florida coach and former Ole Miss Rebel. And a Small Victories notes that Fishback is doing the game today, which is a great game for him. He's an Auburn Tiger, of course. And he also lives in the greater Atlanta area. So that's not too far of a drive. Feel like a stranger jumps in with a super chat. To say, word up, much love, Drainers, Swiggins, and Tates. Let's get the W today. Chad, bacon, lasagna. Tahad and Miles gonna eat. Thank you, Feel Like a Stranger. You're always here for us, and I appreciate that. We have tipped off inside Stegeman Coliseum, which has not changed much in the 30 years I've been covering SEC basketball. Not a bad stadium, though. It's just kind of old when you get in there. First shot of the game was, I think that was Denver. And Georgia gets back in Georgia attacks in transition and catches Auburn. A little bit of sleep there. Kind of a weird bounce on the shot from Denver. He front-rimmed it bad, kind of sent the ball way out to the backcourt, and Georgia was able to get moving. I believe is that Blue Cane, the place for them right there, who was a coveted recruit. Yeah, it is Blue Cane, number 0. A lot of folks on the bunker thought that Auburn should have gone out and gotten him in recruiting. I think it was this last cycle. It may have been one before that. Wow, good defense there to pin him against the baseline. Great defense from Dylan. Absorbed a little hit. Still got the swat. I think some refs in some cases would have called that a foul. I'm glad that it was not called one. It was correctly adjudicated, in my opinion. Chris M says, bad news, Pat Adams is holding a whistle. Good news, Damian Fishback is holding a mic. Hey, now, I like that one right there. Pat Adams, of course, known for calling fouls. Now that TV Teddy is retired, I guess Pat Adams is trying to take that over. Chad's first Chad shot was a bad miss. Georgia's been playing some good basketball this year. They're a lot better. They're ranked. This has got to be the first time. I'm sure Stulte will know the deets on this one, but first time in a while that both of these teams have been ranked when they face each other. We've talked before in the last game, game and a half, I guess, how the pressure being a lot on Chaney, right? He's got to stay in this game as really Auburn's only power forward with Janai out. So he's got to play a very smart game defensively. Denver's had a slow start to this game. Travis Jay's in the house. What up, man? Jay won't be able to watch my bachelor party. War Eagle and let's go. Let's give him some applause, guys. Blue Cane with a 3 right here. Missed it again. Hey, Travis, hope you have a good time, bro. Well, let's make good decisions. Not that you would not make good decisions. I'm just saying, I'm just encouraging you. My bachelor party was a combined bachelor/bachelorette party. Oh, man, that was a deep, deep three from Miles Kelly. We're going to give him a splash. He has a lot of range, right? He might have the most range we've seen since maybe Tay Waller. I think he hits a little bit more than Tay Waller. Although I saw recently that Tay's one of the top 10 three-point shooters in Auburn history. I didn't realize that. I didn't feel like he played here that long. Just get the smiley face from Travis J. He knows how to make good decisions. I trust him, of course. Stoop up with us today. Another pillar of the community. Glad to have you here, bro. Small Victory says, I think in the paint points will be low today based on what I've heard about their defense. Asa Newell, their freshman center, really gives them a presence near the bucket for rim protection. Not necessarily as a scorer as much, although he can do some of that, but I think of him as a real problem near the bucket. But with Auburn's, oh, wow, that was a nice little move there from 14 to absorb that contact and then to kind of flip the ball to his left. Asa Newell, there he is, just as I kind of 15.3 points per game, which is great. That's an incredible number for a freshman. Denver broke through there. He gets a lot of tip backs and that kind of stuff, which is good hustle. But I don't think of him as like some dynamic Abdul-Jabbar type guy. But he definitely, Auburn like to have him. He'd be a great piece. I like the idea of Chaney being on Asa Newell. Wow, that was a tough shot from Georgia right there. Pretty well defended. Step back three. I think Chad was coming in to try to block that and didn't quite get there. Denver having some challenges. They're pressuring the hell out of the ball with him. And he hasn't handled the pressure super well yet, but he did have a breakaway layup earlier. Stoop Up says Newell is good. I completely agree. He is a good player. Sir Turtle getting some early minutes here. In Dillon's stead. And I've talked him up all year about his three-point shooting. He took a three-point shot and missed it. So now I'm looking like a fool again. Backdoor cut, which would have beaten a lot of teams, but Chad was watching and got his backhand out there and blocked that ball down. It was a nice play. Trying to feed that ball into the post over the top with Auburn having him bracketed. I thought Chad was going to get that ball, and Chad thought he was going to get that ball too. All right, so that's going to be our first meet. That's a really nice move by Asa Newell. Just switch to his left hand to finish. That's really nice. Pretty damn skilled move, if you ask me. Let's try to get some fresh, hot stats for this one. Yeah, I do want to mention for those of you who are religiously inclined, who are into prayer and stuff, our friend of the show, Bridget, her dad's been sick down in the Florida Panhandle, and I went down to visit him Thursday, and he's in his 80s, and he's been in the hospital I think 10 or 11 days now, and I don't know, it's scary, and if you guys are so inclined, I would love it if you took a minute, not necessarily now, but just whenever, if you're doing your prayers at night or whatever, to throw one up for Bill, Bridget's dad. That's J-Dub's father-in-law also. Just for healing and for serenity and freedom from anxiety for Bridge and her sister and her mom. It's just really tough. And those of you who've been through things like that, and I know that I feel like a stranger knows that for sure. Looks like Small Victories it does as well. Just whatever you guys want to do. I have prayed for him several times, and he's a good dude. He's a good dude. Likes to golf. More of a Troy Trojans fan, but certainly not a Bammer. Let's see. Stoop Up says Turtle is my wife's favorite player because when he's in, the ball's going up. He really is. He's very shooty, isn't he? Let's look at the numbers. You know how I feel about it. It's usually assist to turnover ratio 1-to-1 for Auburn, which is okay, whatever. 0 and 0 for them. Auburn has 1 assist on 3 buckets, 3 of 7 from the floor. The Auburn Tigers are. They're 3 of 6. And I don't really have anything else to go on here. It's it's more one segment in. Of note, though, is that Turtle's already playing, which is very early for him. With Dylan, they're switching him out. There he is, J-Dub. Oh, it says, thanks, JG, and to all those who are or will lift a prayer. It means a lot. I didn't know you were on, J-Dub. You got it, brother. Absolute legend, Bill is. Very studded dude. Big golfer. All right. Under basket, out of bounds. Auburn on the defense here. Turtle's still going to stay in. Another really weird step back 3. Azanul with another big boy rebound. It looks like Chad is kind of taking it personally, and Chad doesn't seem like the right guy to do it, but I feel like his defense on Azanul so far in this game has been super enthusiastic, so like he's taking it as a personal challenge or something. I don't know. Stu Pup was confused a little bit there that Janai, he is wearing a jersey, but he's not dressed for the game. He's just wearing his jersey. But it's cool that he's there. I'd like to see him a little bit, at the timeouts to see if he's walking around and doing whatever. Point guard play so far in this game for Auburn has not been very good, right? Denver's been a little disjointed with his ball handling, and then Tahad's first possession, which is underway right now, had kind of a curious movement with the ball there and lost it out of bounds. Eventually was judged to be off Georgia, but he looked a little harried there. Georgia expending a lot of energy defensively by pressuring the ball super, super high. Azanul snags another rebound. He's having a great start to this game. That looked like a walk to me on Georgia, but whatever. Auburn is playing man. Not super high pressure. Yes, sir. That's Turtle. Turtle set up nicely. He saw that run coming and just planted his feet and said, come on, big boy, and absorbed the pressure. He was 100% at a set still, way outside the cup there, and that's a very straightforward call. Nice play by Turtle. He's pretty athletic, man. He's underrated. I know he doesn't do much. If you properly rated him right now, he's worth, about a point, maybe 1.5 points per game. But the truth of the matter is that when Janai's playing and Denver's playing, there's not necessarily a big role for... Oh, that was a nice play there. Not necessarily a big role for him. Feel like a stranger's fired up. He says, Turtle. Kanuman says, Turtle. Stupup says, get in your shell and take that charge. You love to see it. Let's see. Small Victories noting about Janai. Courtside cam with Andy pregame showed him walking around like last game out there with the team during warm-ups. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. I still think I was talking to my friend Perry at the bank yesterday. Oh, Chad with actually a good-looking shot and missed it. Dylan with a snatched rebound. Oh, that's a Splash City. I think that was Denver. No, it was Tahad. Auburn takes, I would like to see the average distance of Auburn threes lately. They've been deeper than usual. I mean, they've been hitting them too. But Miles is a particularly deep shooter, and I think Tahad just doesn't have any conscience when he's shooting. Nice steal from Dylan on that overplay about 25 feet from the basket. Oh, that's going in. Chaney with a little shimmy shake and just had a clear shot to the bucket there. Remember, we were talking 2 possessions ago for Auburn's defense that they were playing. They've been playing man. That's kind of their DNA, but they weren't pressuring super high above the 3-point line. That last possession, they were, and Dylan, again, that's pretty risky to send your center 25 feet from the basket, right? Because it gives you no rim protection essentially on the backside if the ball is able to zip in. But he's able to handle that because he's so athletic and he understands positioning so well, and he gets the steal and they go down there and get a dunk for Chaney. That's all set up by a strategic decision. Yeah, it's out of bounds. A strategic decision to let Dillon overplay his guy that far from the bucket. It's something a lot of teams can't do, but it is something that the Auburn Tigers can do, assuming Dillon doesn't get into foul trouble. And he knows he's got to move his feet defensively. He talked about it the other day. Him and Chaney both. Tahad with another deep three. He gets the shooter's roll. Splash. I saw Turtle was down after that. Not injured, but just knocked down, or thought it might have been a foul against Georgia, but I don't know. Whatever it is, it's no big deal. Small Victories correctly notes that we have a couple of variation of guys who want to put their shoulders at times to step up. Yeah, put it on their shoulders. Chad's definitely one. Dillon, not necessarily attacking-wise, but defensively he'll do that. I'm just not sure that I've ever seen an Auburn player that improved that much. I mean, I know he's been at Auburn for like 15 years. He was recruited with Rob Chubb, I think. Him and Lucas Hargrove. But you think about how much of a out-of-control player he was early on, and now he's so smooth. And there's a Tahad taking another unconscious three, and he gets fouled doing it. So he's going to be going to the line. Look at this flush. Yeah, that was a business decision on the backside there. He wasn't going to get in position to make that play, though. No chance. Yeah, Spicy P, great question. Why do you love Turtle so much? I love Turtle because, it's just, I like him personally. I just think he's cool. He's tough. I like what he did on the plane. And he's got a pretty good skill set for a guy of his size. He's got a nice stroke. He's relatively smooth with the ball in his hands, considering he's a de facto 5 in this offense. I mean, I don't know. He just kind of sticks out. Knuman stepping in for Beppo, but actually would Beppo be stepping in for Knuman? Says fresh hot stats. Oh, I wanted to show you guys something before I get the hot fresh stats. I was going through my computer having to throw some stuff away. And I found this story that never was published, but I had it ready in the administration system. Look at this stuff, guys. Now, this never printed, obviously. This was written in 2018, if you guys remember, back when the whole Chuck Person thing went down. And I went over to the arena, and they were like, I don't know, guys. I think this might be over. So I hurried over there, and I banged this thing out and had it in the administration. In case this happened, I'd have a story, right? Look at that. Was terminated for cause after a standoff with university officials. This is back when Leith was telling him he had to interview, and he said, if I interview with you, that could potentially implicate me, in a DOJ investigation, and I don't know. Anyway, great decision to not fire Bruce Pearl. And again, this is before the Final Four. This is a long time ago. So it shows you, man, sometimes things turn out very differently than maybe you expect. But they really were that close, and people can make fun of me and say, JG, they weren't ever going to fire Bruce. I'm telling you, Leith wanted to fire Bruce. But Allen did not think that was appropriate, and there were other people that didn't. Erlen McWhorter did not think it was appropriate either. And I don't think Lee Armstrong felt it was appropriate. It was kind of one of those deals where it's like, guys, let's back away from the hot-headedness and try to figure out what the right thing to do here is, because we got a really good basketball coach who probably hasn't done anything wrong. Like, let's not get somebody fired here. All right, here we go. Little stat review. I love assist turnover, 2-1 for Auburn, 0-3 for Georgia. You love to see that. Auburn with 2 assists on 6 buckets, which I've been saying this so long now, I'm not sure that it even matters, but assists per bucket have been trending downward for Auburn. It's not necessarily a bad trend. It's just kind of a trait trend. Auburn 46% from the floor, not too shabby. They're 3 of 9, 33% from the floor, not too shabby from an Auburn defensive perspective, and 4 of 8 from the 3-point line, which Auburn has been shooting they've been scorching hot lately. Miles has been really good. Denver's been really good. And Tahad's been pretty good too. So remember this time last year, we were like, man, it sure would be nice if Auburn had more shooters. We don't really find ourselves saying that now, do we? And much like the game last time out against Mississippi State, really quick start for the Auburn Tigers. They were up 10-0 in that game. This game, they've already got a 10-point lead. So nice little surge here. It's something we always see from Auburn, right? They always have several bursts where it's like a 2-minute run where they get their +8 or +10. And they're doing that right now. Daniel reminding us that Alabama, I believe they're playing Kentucky today. Not sure. And Daniel also notes that Holloway still sucks. Talking about Aiden Holloway, the former Auburn Tiger, who I think Auburn people really like to see him failing for obvious reasons. A guy that leaves Auburn to go to Alabama, that's not common. And I think ultimately Aiden's biggest problem is in his head. He's a good player. And I think he's a good kid, but he's having a hard time, as Rodney Garner would say, getting de-recruited, I think. I think in his head, maybe he's better than he actually is. Oh, my goodness. That is such a deep shot. Holy shit, man. That was a shot right there. And Georgia doesn't have an answer for that particular machination where you're shooting over the screen. Like, they don't have a way to handle that right now. I need to look at these. There's a number here I really want to see. Auburn's on a 14-0 run, 16-3 over the last 5.5 minutes, so this is tasty. I don't know about you, but I love seeing Auburn beat Georgia. I don't give a damn what it is. Great defense right there from Denver. They're going to call a foul, but I didn't really see it. Stu Pup jumps in with another super chat. This guy, unbelievable. Every single show we've done, going back to 2017, I think. Standing up for Bruce was Green's best decision as Auburn's athletic director, which is probably a short list, right, of good decisions. Well, I mean, not necessarily. Just big moments for him. That's why I never thought of him, thought as ill of him as some of the fan base do after the BH era. And that was early in Allen's tenure, too. He had to kind of put his foot down and say, hey. Of course, his other big gamble was hiring Brian Harsin to teach a lesson to people. Small time Republic, not a fan of that foul call, and I'm not either. That looked really bad, but whatever. We move. I really thought that Denver was just straight up, but sometimes that's hard to adjudicate. Thank you, Stu Pup, again, brother. Tim says, this may not be a popular take. It certainly is not. But if Harsin had worked out, Green would have looked like a genius. Yeah. Kai with a splash city. That's not a three, but it was still a hell of a shot. Kai, of course, played his last year of high school at Overtime Elite in Atlanta. So this is sort of kind of a little bit of a home game. Now, home for him is up in the Northeast, but there's Blue Cane. And he just got his shit packed right there. Auburn's definitely, this guy's stuck. I remember when the bunker was going crazy about Blue Cane. He could have been like a late addition to that class maybe 2 years ago. And I asked some people who would know, about him, and they were like, I don't think he's up to this level. If he is, it's going to be like as a, 9th, 10th guy. Now, he starts for Georgia. But Georgia's also kind of in stage 1.5 of a rebuild. And Auburn is most certainly not in stage 1.5 of a rebuild. Auburn's in like stage 8. And it's not a rebuild anymore. Oh, they're going to say over and back on Tahad. He did kind of dribble back, though, from left hand to right hand. Stu Pup says Blue Cane's having a down year shooting. I mean, if he's not shooting, he's not. That's so much of his value is concentrated in that, right? Super chat coming through from one of our pillars of the community, Sir Ravin, who I saw I had the opportunity, the joy to share lunch with him on Thursday. Says, hate that I'm missing the game and the drain today, as he super chats. But I am working today just like you. Have a great show, and I'll catch the playback. Ravin, my man. Thank you for the super chat, G, and also thanks for hanging out for lunch. We had lunch. Well, I better not say. It was in Florida, though, and it was delicious. That was a left-handed hook shot from Asa Newell that, from a distance of about 7 to 8 feet, hit nothing. You don't see that every day. I feel like a stranger notes correctly that Georgia outbid Auburn for Newell. It wasn't necessarily that they were going dollar for dollar. It was that Auburn had money. You know, you've got a list, and you say, hey, we got to have this guy, And Newell was a guy they loved, but he was down the list just a little bit. Spicy P says, these guys are ass, LOL. LMAO. These guys are ass. Hey, man, we're only a quarter through this game, but Tahad is taking him to town right now. He's too much for these guys right now. I think we underestimate, because we watch Auburn all the time, how fast Tahad is. He's not just fast, I should say. He missed 2 free throws. Unusual for him. He's just super quick, too. And he has big, big balls. Like, he's really to take on anybody all the time. He does not care. So, you love to see it. And another thing I want to commend him on is that he does have the big balls, and he's willing to take on anybody. But he also has generally very good risk-reward radar. He doesn't get himself, like when he gets into a cul-de-sac, he finds a way out of it instead of just continuing to double down. There's Tyron Lawrence, number 7. You guys might remember him from Auburn recruiting him away from Vanderbilt a couple years ago. And Auburn was thinking that he could play. That was when they were in the search for the wing. After having lost on Terrence Shannon, who went to Illinois, I believe. And played great, by the way. Did get into some off-the-court trouble, but ultimately that didn't turn into anything. He ended up going back to Vanderbilt, Tyron Lawrence did, and then the next year came out and went to Georgia. But he plays 1 at Georgia, interestingly. Not 3. Spicy P says you can't airball a 3-foot hook shot at home and say you're any good. Come on now, he's a good player. That was a terrible shot, though. There's Coach Ian Borders and Janai and Blake next to him on the other side. They're doing play calls right there, but I didn't hear it from me. Cassidy P jumps in with a super chat to say, sorry I'm late. Janai on a hoverboard? Oh, a hover round or no? He's okay. He's in a wheelchair, but everything's fine. No, I'm just kidding. He's doing good. He's moving around a little bit better, I think. He's in the jersey, although he's not going to be playing. He's wearing that as a fashion statement. Maybe to show solidarity with his teammates, too, because Janai's that kind of guy. Cassidy P. Tahad has been an absolute bitch to Georgia today so far. And there's another terrific pass to Dylan. He's just been way too much for them today. He came in as a reserve, as he often does, but his speed has been incredibly good. There's that backdoor cut that Chad cut off earlier, but this time Tyron Lawrence got ahead of it. And Tahad had another mishap, this time in the extreme backcourt, in the full court, you should say. That's a walk. And Georgia turns around and hits another 3. That's Asa Newell hitting a 3. It's pretty cool when your center can hit a 3. Of course, we say that about Janai. When he's out there, he can definitely hit a 3. There's Todd going to try to take a 27-footer. But they call a timeout. I bet he's bitching at Tahad. It was a bad closeout on the 3, although that may have been by design because it's Asa Newell. You're not necessarily expecting him to shoot threes, or I should say hit threes. Cassidy P says Mike White looks like a second-place finisher in the skills challenge. My man. Daniel D says, why is Hudson called Turtle? He was asked that the other day, and his answer was, it was just a nickname that he was given as a kid. And it's funny because I think BMAT, when he asked him questions, was calling him Jaheim, which is his name, but I've literally never heard a single person call him Jaheim. It is his name, so I'm not making fun of BMAT on that. I'm just saying everybody calls him Turtle. He calls himself Turtle. Frank wants to know, is that the under 8 TO? Let me see where they're at. 742. So, yeah. Essentially what Auburn does is they take a 30 and then it extends to a full timeout for BP. Let me get some hot, fresh stats for you guys on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Beautiful only because we get to watch Auburn basketball. Outside, it's a little, at least where I'm at right now, it's a little prickly. It's not cold, but it's just kind of gloomy and it's been raining. Mega Tiger, hold on, let me get these hot, fresh stats up. There it is. Hot, fresh stats. Mega Tiger jumps in with a super chat to say, sitting in the stands at my son's mini Tigers 9-year-old basketball game, following along on the train. He asked for a score update at each timeout. I love that he's got his priorities straight. He says, Mega Tiger Jr. says, I'm going to school these fools, but I'm more interested in how the Auburn Tigers are doing. First of all, that tells me he's been raised right. Second of all, it tells me he's a baller just like his dad. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you for the super chat, G. Daniel says something we all believe. Wish our football team was good. That would be amazing, guys. And you, as an Auburn supporter and or Auburn graduate, certainly want that to be the case. Me, as a proprietor of a website that deals mainly with Auburn football, I'd love to see that too. Please. Pretty, please. Wizard D's with us today. Again, I should say. War Eagle, everyone, he says. Appreciate that. Gunner 357 says a headband with holes cut out for his eyes, LOL. And Beppo is here. Dropped with a hot and fresh stats. Knuman was picking up for you earlier, Beppo, because he cares about you that way, and he's a team player. Auburn, let's see, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, which is a little disappointing for me from the turnover perspective. Chad with a very, very Chad shot right there. They've got 2 assists and 3 turnovers, so they're having problems of their own, which is common for Auburn opponents. They're 5 of 16 from the floor. Auburn is 9 of 16. That's nice. That helps you. Turtle got worked on that a little bit, but they couldn't finish in the paint, so Auburn takes off. Great touch pass from Chad down to Chaney. Wow, I thought Chaney got fouled on that. May not have. I think Chaney made a mistake there. He thought he missed he saw a window close in transition, and he was just dead set on trying to make it right. I think Georgia's on a 7-0 run right now. And Auburn's lead is down to 10. Auburn's passing tempo is amazing on this possession, but Miles Kelly airballed a shot from the corner, which is unusual for him. It was open too. That was a really nice crossover. Another big-time offensive rebound for Georgia. They're getting plenty. Daniel D says, Ohio State or Notre Dame. I was trying to talk this out in the ICU waiting room yesterday with a young man who was himself puzzled by who to pick in this game. I think Ohio State's going to win. I do not want Ohio State to win. I don't really want Notre Dame to win either, but I really don't want to hear Ohio State people talking about how great they are because I just think they suck. So I'm going to go with Notre Dame, even though I am pulling for Notre Dame. I believe Ohio State's going to win by 2 touchdowns. Cassidy P says, furlong Kelly on that one. Not even a mile, not a kilometer, 1/8 of a mile. That's what a furlong is, guys. Spicy P says, these guys can't score for shit. If we take smart shots, we win. That's kind of the way I'm seeing it, too. Auburn's shooting decisions have been mixed at best in the last 5 minutes or so. There was a run there where the shooting was very, very smart and reserved. All right, sorry about that, guys. All right, looks like Auburn's going to be a little more patient on this possession. Going to run some stuff. They set that up for Miles to come off that deep screen and flare out at the three-point line. But he was a little further, deeper maybe. It seems like he prefers the 24-footers. But whatever. Poppy Clan in the house? That's the rumor? We do have Poppy Clan in the house. Says, my UGA hate is strong. Same here, bro. I don't ever pull for Georgia. I don't think there's a team that I would ever pull for Georgia against. They're at the absolute bottom for me. Absolute bottom. Although, interestingly, I really like the guys that run UGAsports.com. Good dudes. Dash, Roddy, Paul, Trent, Patrick. Good dudes, man, all of them. But, man, I don't like that team that they cover. I'll tell you about that. Let's see. Wizard D says Auburn not being killed on the boards has been key so far. Yeah, I thought that they would probably lose that one. I'm trying to see the numbers right now. 17 boards for the Tigers and 12 for them. So that's an area where I thought Auburn might lose, and Auburn's actually winning. But Georgia is on a 7-0 run right now, and Auburn's missed 5 consecutive shots. So that's not great. CJ says their court was designed by a 5-year-old. I do like I guess it'd be a triple tone with the red lane, the lighter interior area, and then the darker exterior area. But the dog, it bothers me. It really gives me that Oregon vibe where they have the trees, which is the worst I've ever seen. So it takes a decent idea and just executes it very, very poorly. Cassidy P says +5 on glass. Smiley face, happy emoji. And as you know, Cassidy P, big fan of rebounding margin. He loves seeing the Auburn Tigers gobble them up. Poppy Clan says, where is Man Bun these days? Mr. Ben Wolk. He works for Georgia 24/7. So as we like to joke with him, you know, he's a bullpup, and he's doing his bullpup thing over there. But we love Ben. He was not at all an annoying Georgia person, at all. He's a professional, and I miss him a lot. Of all the people that have left us, well, Jay Lee's the toughest one for me. But oh my God, what an ambitious attempt from Chaney to dunk on the whole team. Couldn't quite finish the dunk. But I applaud the effort and the industriousness. That's got to be a walk, right? Man, Georgia now on a 9-0 run. And Auburn's lead down to 8. I feel like Auburn's last 2 possessions have had some good shots. Miles Kelly's missed 2 wide-open threes. And then Chaney driving down the lane. I thought he was going to be able to get that, and he missed the dunk. Now he's inside again. This is where Chaney starts to bug me a little bit, right? He's in a situation where the scoring percentage is going down, and he's just going to force it. And I think he needs to kick that out. He's still got 18 seconds on the shot clock. Like, kick that out and let's reset it, not have you take on 3 people at once. So, yeah. Listen, man, Georgia's been in control of this game for the last 4 minutes now. Auburn's got to find a way to at least score some buckets and break this run. Defensively, I think it's been okay. Attacking-wise, it's been atrocious the last 4 or 5 minutes. Georgia hits another one, so that's an 11-0 run now. Will BB call a timeout? Unlikely. He's not a timeout taker. Denver's going to try a 3 and miss it very, very badly. Huge rebound for Dylan. Miles with another open 3. He's going to miss it. I bet you Chad is 0 for 6 from the floor right now. Oh, he hit one earlier. So, oh, my God, what a block. They're going to call it goaltending. Incredible effort from Dylan Cardwell right there. So now they go to a 13-0 run. Miles Kelly missed another open three. Chad missed another shot. I bet he's missed 6 in a row now. Let's see what he's at, actually, officially. He's 1 of 7. I don't remember when he hit his bucket. It's interesting that we're talking about how they're letting him play and there's hacking going on, not getting called. Usually with Pat Adams, they're calling everything. But in this game, it's been pretty physical, and they haven't called a lot either way. Miles, do something here, bro. Holy cow, what a shot. I'm going to give him a drop on that one. Drop! I think he changed hands like a la Jordan on that one, bro. Great finish. I was skeptical when I saw him driving. It looked like a walk to me, too. Georgia definitely gotten some tempo here. A lot of these shots for Georgia are in, pretty close. 8 feet in. Mike White's freaking out. You better be careful. I thought he was going to throw the ball at him. I thought Mike White was going to throw the ball at Pat Adams right there. Like, I'd like to see you do it. A small time, I thought I saw the walk there too, bro. Spicy P thought he saw a walk as well. I did. I definitely thought I saw a walk there. But, again, not happening. All right, some more fresh stats here as we go into the last segment of the first half, which has been a pretty forgettable run of about 7 minutes here for the Auburn Tigers. Have not played well. Defensively, okay-ish. Attacking-wise, just trash. Again, the last probably 2 segments now. But as we know, Auburn can turn things around, particularly on the attacking end, very quickly. Because they certainly have the talent. Stu Pub says that would have been a T on BP, and I have to agree with that. I was surprised that he was able to throw his little tantrum like that, talking about Mike White. 4 assists, 5 turnovers for the Auburn Tigers, 10 buckets. Now Georgia's caught up with 10 buckets, 10 of 23. Auburn now 10 of 29. So Auburn's shooting percentage was good with around the 10-minute mark of this game, and it has gone to absolute crap. I'm mesmerized by this commercial. Is this someone doing like ecological projects or whatever? It's pretty cool. Anyway, Shane jumping in with a super chat. What up, Shane? He's with us all the time. Denver's struggling today. Got to get Tahad back in there. Tahad was killing them earlier. His second shift, Tahad wasn't quite as good. But he's definitely been better. Both of his segments, I think, have been better than Denver's segments today. Denver's been kind of hiccupy. I don't think he's played a good game today so far. 1 of 5 from the floor with 0 assists and 2 turnovers has got to be a huge L for Denver. Tahad has 12 points, 1 assist, 1 turnover. Weird turnover, though. It was way down on the other end. Yeah, that's definitely goaltending. Ball was on the way down. Still hell of an effort by Dylan. Yeah, Daniel P says, I think the answer is more JPP. That's the secret weapon, right? Secret sauce. Ephesians says, don't know that we can blame this one on the whistle. AU took some bad shots because the ball's getting stuck on the offensive end. I think you're right about that. Yeah, it has been getting a little stuck. But to be fair, I think Miles has missed his last 3 3-point attempts, and 2 of them were great looks. And the most recent one, I would call it a good look. He did have Blue Cane coming to close him out, but he still had an open shot, and he's missed all 3. So if he hits a couple of those and it's a different complexion, it's still Georgia scoring too much, but at least the number wouldn't look so bad. Boy, Asa Newell's a player, man. He's got some real athletic ability. And there's another. Oh, nope. Auburn was able to corral that. I thought Georgia was going to get that offensive rebound again. I just get the feeling Miles Kelly wants to be a bigger part of this attack today. You know, as a former Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, he's played these tools and thought about these tools a lot. So he probably wants to have a big game against these guys. Wow, that was a very ambitious pass. And it was really, really accurate, too. From Chad Baker. That's probably, what, a 20-foot pass? And the window for catching that was so small, and Dylan was able to catch it in. Missed it and then went back up and got fouled on an attempted dunk. But let's see what Dylan can do at the line. You know how it goes. Daniel P says we can't afford to miss dunks, too. Cass DB says one of Kelly, Denver, Chaney, or Chad Bacon lasagna. He missed his first one. I need to score 15. Just one, and we got this. Because Tahad is already doing his thing. So need that second scoring contributor. Boy, Dylan missed both. It's tough. I say it again, man. He spends so much time in the gym before practice. It's usually just him and Chaney in there, and Chaney's working on something else and shooting free throws. And he's pretty good in practice. But come out here and miss them both. And he's done it before. He did it in the last game. Chaney just picked up a silly foul. I don't know that it matters. What's he at? That's 2 fouls for him now. So I'm trying to understand what BP's talking about. 1 of 14, guys. Jeez Louise. I mean, some of that's been bad shot taking, in my opinion, but some of it's just been missing some good shots, too. I feel like Georgia's defense has been better. It was good in the beginning, and then it sucked for a little while, where I thought they were overplaying so much that they were getting fatigued. And now they've gone back to kind of absorbing the attack a little bit more, and it's really been working well. Simo is in there, by the way. Looks like he's playing de facto 4 with Chaney out with 2 fouls. Because you got 2 wings in there, plus Tahad and Dylan. Tahad, I don't like that 3 right there. Damn, Miles Kelly just went up about 15 rows. Hey, he's still not back on the court yet. Now he is. Okay, so they've decided, I guess, that ball actually went off Blue Cane. Great effort to get that ball. I think that's 2 times Blue Cane's been stripped on the way down. Great play there. Great hustle play by Auburn to get a kind of manufacture an extra possession here. Really cool. Oh, Chad got Blue Cane leaning again. And, oh, my God, he missed another one. Trying to finish with his right hand and wasn't able to get it to go down. Incredibly, Georgia's 1 3-pointer right now for tying this game. It's crazy. Auburn was playing so much better than Georgia for a while there. Chad's getting frustrated. He's probably missed 7 or 8 in a row now. I thought that was a good quality shot. Small Victories wants to know if I have access to the stats that show dots where all the shots are taken/made. I don't think I do. I think I've told you guys this. I used to subscribe to a company called Synergy Sports that did great analytics for basketball. They upped my annual dues from $300 a year to $31,000 a year. I'm not joking about that. And I was like, guys, I can't. I can't do $31,000 a year. Georgia hit another bucket. Yeah, I don't have those kinds of stats. Let's see. I'm sorry, guys. I got a little bit confused there. Spicy Pieces, Auburn's. Oh, somebody just hit one. All right, let me get this right. They've got another bucket, and that's when I kind of went to try to find those stats. And then Auburn came back and splashed them with Tahad again. Oh, there we go. Boy, Tahad's had himself a half, though, hadn't he? Been kind of up and down. But that was a big bucket right there. No, sir. That was great defense from Dylan. Head up, watching the play, keeping an eye on his responsibilities, but still watching the play, and made a nice interception there that created another possession for Auburn. Miles Kelly's played a lot of minutes today, which is good. He's been good. His shooting hasn't been great, and I say that, and he got, a foul. Beppo says $31,000, dude. I had to ask him. We got into an email, like, not confrontation, but I was just like, are you serious? Essentially, they just wanted to price people like me out of the market, right? They want it to go strictly to, like, teams and, like, scouts and shit like that. They don't want people like me using their stats. And that was heartbreaking because I loved Synergy. I used to do entire shows on the YouTube about it, and then, you know, I can't do $30,000. I mean, that's what Auburn pays. I mean, Auburn's got Synergy. Everybody does. Alabama, Georgia, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the kind of money they're making from their stats. But what's crazy is it's not like, you know, if they're going to cut me out, the other people that were paying $300 a year, if you're going to cut us out, it's not like all of a sudden Auburn's going to pay more or they're going to start using the service because they're already using it. I don't really see the advantage there, but let's see if I could find that email. It was one of the greatest moments of my life. I go, $31,000? Like, actually? Do we just miss a comma here? Like, what are we doing? Here you go. This is the email. I had to find it for you. Man, look at this, you guys. Hold on, I'm going to bump these stats down. $3,000 a month, 12-month minimum. I mean, come on, man. What are we doing? Insane. $3,000 a month. I mean, even if I had that kind of money, I would still not do that. Like, out of just spite. Oh, Tahad going to get him again. Oh, can't finish with the right hand. Auburn had so many problems finishing at the rim. Miles has missed one at the rim. Chad's missed two at the rim. Tahad's missed two at the rim. And these are buckets they almost always hit. So, I mean, it was in traffic. Defense was at least solid there. So they're not gimmies, but damn. Beppo says email proof. They did get bought out. So Synergy got bought out by this company called Sports Radar, or Sport Radar rather. And so I guess that company said, screw them. This is how we're going to do it now. Chris Sims says, how many customers do you think you will get at $31,000 a year? Like I said, I think they just want it to be teams and scouts, like NBA scouts. And I think that's their revenue stream. So whatever. Let's see. Terrence wants to know, what's the most you would pay? I would consider paying like $1,250 a year, like $1,250. I mean, because it is very detailed stuff and it's data you can't get anywhere else. But 31,000 or whatever, I ain't gonna get it. I'm just not gonna do that. It's ridiculous. I thought it was a joke, and Henry was heartbroken because he loves that. He loves those stats, man. Let's see. Stupup says that's $36K a year. My bad, I missed it. Maybe they gave me a discount or something. I don't remember. We went back and forth for a while. You don't like SEMO? God, no. That's not who you want taking that shot. Simo was stuck on a double screen out there, and he saw the opportunity to drive, and he was like, I'm not a driver, but I got to go. And then he shanked it. Oh, goodness. All right, let's take a look. We got to get some hot, fresh stats here at the halftime intermission, as the kids say. I do not like the way that half ended for the Auburn Tigers in a general sense. The last 7 minutes, I would say, maybe more like 8 or 9 minutes, were a pretty much abject disaster. A key bucket from Tahad, may have been 2, kind of salvaged. Salvaged the half because it could have just been a complete cluster. Let's see. Terrence says, so you two are not even close to an agreement. No, we're way off. Yeah. Honestly, if I'd had that kind of money, I would have just hired Henry full time. I mean, rather than that. Cleveland Browns here. What's up, bro? Says this habit of starting fast and then having it close isn't going away anytime soon, is it? Yeah. So many points left on the floor is what Desperado says. I can't agree with that more. At least, absolute minimum, 6 or 8 points left on the floor. Of just if you just finish the layups. Some of them were contested though, or most of them were, but that's stuff that Auburn usually hits. 4 assists and 5 turnovers for Auburn. That's got to be one of the first halves I can remember this year where Auburn had the wrong balance there. Oh, we got highlights from Alabama and Kentucky, because this is like a guessing game for me because I don't know what happened here. When we got on the air, Kentucky was leading. Boy, I watched a lot of games in this arena in my lifetime. Haven't seen one in probably 5 or 6 years since, though. I used to get so up for UK basketball back in the 90s. Oh, he's wearing the Tony Delk 00, huh? Cassie DP knows what time it is. Is that Aiden Holloway missing a 3? I don't know what number he wears now. That's a nice move. That dude is saved. Oh, my God. Grant Nelson is such a good player. Mark Sears is a good player, too, man. Jeez. AU Taxman says, do we want UK to win? Of course, man. Right? I mean, sometimes we have to make these difficult decisions in life. It's crazy to think Auburn could have gotten Mark Sears. I mean, could have. Boy, I didn't know Alabama was up. Oh, God dang. Oh, they're going to call a block on that. Wow. Sorry, I'm just sitting there watching highlights like you guys are. Okay. Oh, the game's still going. 8 minutes to go almost. Alabama's up 5. Okay, I thought that game would have been over by now. Small Victory says, Nelson's stash makes me wonder about him. Let's see. Georgia has the same assist-to-turnover ratio as Auburn, so 4-5. So from an Auburn defensive perspective, that's fine. I mean, you could live with that. Auburn has 3 steals and only 1 block today so far, which isn't necessarily surprising because Georgia's a little taller. Cyril's a long dude, and obviously Azadul's a long dude as well. So, and they've taken quite a few shots. Well, Aza did 5 shots. Tyron Lawrence 5 shots. Blue Kane 5 shots, although his are in transition mostly. Got to have a stat for number of times got stuffed because Blue Kane got stuffed at least twice. Let's see. Daniel P. says, Doc says that an Alabama win is great for the rivalry. That's exactly the way he would say it for sure. Cassidy P. says, if numbers get retired, 00 should be from the Kentucky Wildcats. I completely disagree with you. I hate Tony Delk with the burning passion of 1,000 suns because that dude, people just love thinking about Tony Delk as this guy that made a lot of shots, at the end of his Kentucky career, while simultaneously forgetting all the bricks he laid as a freshman and sophomore. I want to punch him in the face for all his missed shots. Anyway, we're going back to the old days when I was a Kentucky fan back in the early 90s. I have since reformed. Terrence says, we have no offensive presence in the post. It causes our offense to lose a lot of its consistencies. Agree with that. Ephesians wants to know adjustments here at the half. Now, I think they're going to have to focus more on getting the ball switched from side to side because Georgia's done a nice job. We were talking about this in the half. You might have heard me talking about it, but they were getting stuck on one side of the floor. And when you do that, I think Georgia has the size, and their lack of quality depth, I think, makes it so that if they're only defending half the court, it makes them more effective. Auburn needs to do a better job of kind of switching it side to side. And I think that the passing tempo that Auburn is capable of, that really is one of their secret strengths, really hasn't been in play too much today. There were a few possessions I can remember where they were tempo in the passing, and they got Miles Kelly a really nice open three in the corner that he hit, and then again they got him another open three in the corner that he airballed, and then they kind of got away from it. Daniel P. notes that Mike White tends to have success against BP in various ways. And also Daniel D. notes that today is Pat Sullivan's birthday. Really, really one of the good ones, man. Happy heavenly birthday to Pat Sullivan. Just one of those guys who's a legend and also very, very cool. Like, you like to see that. Cassidy P says DHOs are not working at the wing. Need to focus DHO on the top of the key to make UGA imbalanced on one side of the court so we can get open threes or drive. That's right. Auburn, I thought, did a decent job of the first part of what you're saying, but then they would just stay on that side of the floor for whatever reason and not switch it, which, again, let them kind of defend half the floor instead of the full floor. Desperado notes that free throw shooting has not been a strength of the Auburn Tigers today, nor has it been for Georgia, honestly. 3 of 9 for Georgia, 5 of 9 from Auburn, and Dillon when it had an offer, which was not great. And I think Tahad had an offer as well, so could do better there. Kind of odd to look at the numbers here. It looks like Turtle had 2 shifts. I only remember him having 1. That's not good. And then Semo had to come in there late to kind of repair Chaney having gotten his second foul. So all in all, just kind of a wet fart for the last 8 to 10 minutes of that half, honestly. Auburn was shooting the ball above 50%, I think, at the midway point of that half, and then they finished 32%, which means they were actually shooting probably 10% for the last 10 minutes of that half. I mean, yikes. And I thought the quality of the shots was poor. Now, one good thing here, Cassidy P, I'm sure, has already pointed out. I did short the good guys 1 point, and that is a regrettable error. I will fix that right now. Thank you for that, Ephesians. We've got it corrected now. Cassidy P would be very enthusiastic to let you guys know that Auburn is +9 rebounding, so that's good. And something I didn't necessarily expect on this one. Now that I think about it, Georgia's offensive rebounding is usually not very good, and it's not good today either. 4 offensive rebounds. That was a real bugaboo in the Mississippi State game where they kept getting those offensive rebounds. Not so much today, but Georgia's doing some other things well, and specifically just defending well, quick on the closeouts. And the quality of Auburn's shots, I thought, dipped as that second half moved forward. But free throw issues and also just shots at the like layups and dunks have been a problem too. Let me see what Auburn is on layups and dunks. That's a stat I can get. Come on, Jay. Auburn is 3 of 9 on layups. Can you believe that? And 1 of 3 on dunks. So layups and dunks together, they're 4 of 12. I bet that hasn't happened in a long time. Good golly, Miss Molly. That is amazing. We've been watching. We know they've been missing some layups, but that's incredible. I feel like a stranger says Broom going to play in the second half on a scooter. It's no big deal. Ephesians says he's curious what are the chances that Broom could be back for Tennessee. I personally think that he will be back for Tennessee. So for me, it would be like 70. I'll give him the Justin Hokanson 70%. But I don't know. I think a lot of people who know better than I do would probably say that's optimistic. I don't know. He just doesn't seem that infirm to me. I mean, I understand why he's not playing today, but I think with a week off between now and the Tennessee game, I think he's got a shot. Wow, there's a hot take. Cassidy P says Livy Dunn is easy on the eyes. Hey, I don't want to offend anybody, but this really hot chick is really hot. Don't, guys, come on. I'm not trying to insult anybody here. Let's see. Gunner says, JJ, I couldn't imagine being a diehard Kentucky fan and then switching. How hard was that? It wasn't hard. I mean, you just kind of, I don't know, like, it's a long story. My parents were actually Louisville people, and so actually my whole life is like an opposite thing with my dad. He went to a small school in Kentucky called Center, and then I went to Center's arch rival, Transylvania, so it starts there. Then he's a Louisville guy, and then I'm a Kentucky guy, so it's there. We kind of lived like that. Although I like my dad. I've always gotten along with him. I don't know why. But, yeah, I liked Kentucky a lot. I used to go to games in the early 90s, and then I covered Kentucky when I was a student at Kentucky, 96 to 98. I can't really say I was I guess I kind of was a fan. You know, I wanted to see him win and stuff. But once you start covering the team and you realize that some of the players are like just shitheads or whatever, they're hard to pull for. Like Saul Smith was a dick, and I was like, it makes you like want to see him lose because he's such a dick. But karma got him. Karma got Saul Smith. Stu Pep says, I'm a reformed Bammer. I mean, we're all fighting the battles, you know. Cassidy P says, same thing for me as a recovering UK fan. I mean, now I don't know. I mean, I like seeing Auburn win just because I know the people. You know, I know everybody knows BP, but like the guys behind them, like Burgo, Chad, Ira, Corey, Coach Ian Borders, Maddox, they all bust their ass, you know, and I just like to see them win and feel like, you know, like it just kind of justifies them because I think they're really good. And then when they win a lot of games, then everybody else realizes that they're good, and then it's nice that way. That's just kind of the way I see it anyway. Beppo says, what happened to Saul Smith? Saul Smith, I just always feel like he was one of those guys. It's so strange because he's one of those guys that just think the rules didn't apply to him. And eventually he got busted. I don't remember if it was like Cassidy P might remember better than me, but it's like he had like a DUI, and then he got into other legal trouble, and basically it wrecked his coaching career. But his brother Gigi, who's like 2 or 3 years older, is such a great guy. Like it's weird how brothers are like that. Daniel P says, is Burgo a guy that will likely still be around once Bruce retires, assuming Steven is next up? I would not assume that. I wouldn't. I need to have a conversation with Burgo about like what his ambition is professionally. I mean, he's taken such a big step forward with the team this year. Like if you go to practice now compared to like 2 or 3 years ago, he was almost like a strategy consultant before, and now in practice it's like he's director of strategy. You know, now BP's the director of strategy if you want to be real about it, but you'll see BP very vocally in practice defer to Burgo on stuff. And so, but is that kind of his niche to be that guy, or does he want to be an actual assistant coach and have to go out and recruit? I don't know. Pocket says Center Trancey's a big rivalry. No, absolutely. Center and Trancey for sure is a big rivalry. I got kicked off campus at Center for a Center Trancey soccer game. We set up couches on the sideline and threw popcorn at players, and they said it was, quote, dangerous. I'm like, it's popcorn. Come on, man. And not even the kernels. It was popped. Bill Miner asks, favorite former UK coach, Tubby, Patino, Sutton. Definitely not Sutton. Other. Man, I only covered 2 basketball coaches, which was Tubby and Patino. I mean, if you want me to be totally honest with you, it'd be Fran Flory, who was the volleyball coach and who was like the first coach I ever actually covered, and she was so incredibly cool to me. So Fran Flory, who ended up going to LSU. Let's see. Beppo says Burgo equals pretty good. He's pretty good. CJ says Burgo is awesome. He really is. He's a huge asset for this team and gives them an advantage over other teams. BP's great with strategy too, so I don't want to make it seem like BP just kind of goes, I don't know, you fix it, you know? He's not that way at all. BP's actually, he loves coming across as like this jovial yard barker. I just recruit people. He's actually a really good strategist too, and he has a very keen understanding of exactly what he wants to see on the floor. So that part of him hardly anybody talks about it. And if you go to practice, you're shocked because it's all he does. But Burgo definitely accentuates that and maybe gets BP thinking even more about it. I think, a guy like BP who's been coaching at a high level since, 84, 85 when he was at Iowa as an assistant under Dr. Tom Davis, maybe you get staticky with some of the things that you're trying to do offensively. And you kind of worry sometimes that you're not keeping up with the trends. And so when BP hires Burgo and then gives him more and more autonomy, it kind of keeps Auburn trendier and maybe more forward-thinking, new ideas coming in. It's pretty cool. Gunnar asks, my favorite Auburn football coach I've covered. Let's see. So definitely not Terry Bowden. So then you got Tommy, who I liked a lot and still like. Chiswick, who I didn't like. Gus, who I didn't like in the beginning, but then I ended up loving. Harsin was atrocious. And Freeze is okay to me. So I would definitely say Tommy. And political stuff aside, we used to always joke with him about how he's going to be a politician someday. It was like assumed. And now he's a politician. And now some people get mad at him. I don't understand it. MC Tigger says, not even kernels. It was popped. That's what I was saying. Like, if you're throwing kernels at people, I don't know, maybe you hit them in the eye or something and it hurts or whatever. But I'm throwing, like, you know what I mean? Like, popped popcorn. Like, come on, man. You wouldn't even know that you touched it. Like, if you threw it and hit somebody with popcorn, they wouldn't even know it hit them. I got kicked off campus for that. And then, you know who it was? This is a true story. The person who kicked me off campus was the center president. Michael Adams was his name. He ended up being the president at Georgia many years later. And I actually talked to him on the sideline about it, and he didn't have any recollection of having kicked me off campus. Not JG personally, but he had no recollection of kicking people off campus at center at a soccer game. Which, I mean, he's got a lot going on. Oh, Cheney just said, no, sir, we're not going to do that. Little cherry picking is what Coach Sonny Smith would say about that, but Dylan got a nice little bucket, mostly because of an incredible defensive play on the other end from Cheney Johnson. But great start to the half right there. MC Tigger, thanks for enjoying that comment, bro. I thought it was funny. Let me change this to 2H. Still keeping an eye on this game here. 35-27, the Auburn Tigers. Nice first possession. Well, I should say first defensive possession. Wow, that was hilarious. Oh, they called Dylan for that. I thought that was just a terrible shot from Azanul. Look at this. No, sir. Cheney sticking with that. And then a little cherry pick dunk for Dylan. Yes, Daniel P. is familiar with some Coach Sonny Smith lingo there. Good stuff. Let's see. Cassidy P. says he's drinking some Curly small batch on the rocks. Leads to steel dunk. Yum, 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 yum. I don't love the call either, Ephesians. Coach Marquise Daniels there with Ian and Janai. Georgia 3 of 10 from the line. Boy, they're hurting there too. They did hit one there. Breaking their streak. All right, 35-28. Bill Miner asking, is Swack going to the Raiders? No. He ain't going. No, he's going to coach at Colorado. Raiders are going to get Ben Johnson from the Lions, and all's going to be good. Oh, man. Miles Kelly, I thought he traveled. I thought he dragged his pivot foot, but he did not. That was a pretty clever bucket right there, honestly. Part of the Aura squad. Boy, you can tell that Azanul is going to be a real problem when he gets a little bit more experience and understands the risk-reward ratio a little bit better. I mean, he's already good, but he's going to be nasty. Assuming that he stays, you know, he might be good enough to where the NBA starts calling pretty quick. Boy, Blue Cane just can't buy a bucket in this game. That was a perfect opportunity there. All right, so we're kind of starting this half the way we normally do. You got Denver at point, and he's kind of jaggedy a little bit. Oh, well, if he hits this shot, I won't say it again. He missed it. A little jaggedy with the ball handling because Georgia's cranked up their pressure. Poppy Clan wants to know who's Dallas getting. I don't know. I was surprised they waited. I don't know. I'm surprised they fired McCarthy. Although, if you're a Cowboys fan, which I know you're not, but he just right after I cuss Blue Cane, he hits a 3. I know you're a Browns guy, but I don't know. He's kind of mid. But who wants to put up with all that Cowboys drama? Well, you always have an owner that's like breathing down your neck and wants to take all the spotlight from you. Blue Cane hits another one. I won't say another word about him. I mean, John Madden coached pretty well with a very vociferous owner, so it can be done, but that was a long time ago. You weren't on TV every minute with Al Davis, chiding the team or chiding your coaching or whatever. Chad cannot buy a bucket today, guys. Cannot buy a bucket. Well, they're trying to heat check Blue Cane there, weren't they? Yeah, it will not go. Oh, I thought he was going to swat that. I thought Dylan was in perfect position to have a reversal on that one. BP feels moved to call a timeout ahead of the media timeout. I guess he feels like his defense is getting disorganized, which is unusual, very unusual for Auburn. Kind of an odd closeout there. It looked like Denver got up to him and then didn't actively try to dissuade the shot. It was kind of an odd closeout. I don't know. Beppo says Chad is ice cold. He couldn't be colder right now. I think he's missed maybe 8 in a row. I don't even want to get the stats up for the half yet. Well, I guess we can. Just because we haven't even gotten to the first media timeout yet. But we can do it. Box score, second half. That takes a little bit longer to populate, so just give me a second on that one. Oh, wow, they've already gone back. I'll hold the phone on that one. Oh, God. What? Auburn must have splashed something during that aborted timeout or whatever's going on there. And they just hit another one. But it was good to see Auburn get a splash. I didn't get to see it, though. I don't know who had it. That was a very poorly timed advertisement timeout, considering there wasn't one. Oh, Denver again with another jagged move out. Denver's ball handling today has not been good. He's not a good pressure dribbler, right? Tahad is a much better pressure dribbler, but you can also make the argument that you need a better just point guard, right? Turtle, what is you doing? Yeah, Daniel P. I'm not one to say that very much, but you're not wrong. He says Denver sucks today. Got to get him out. I think just got to stop that. Yeah. This is the first time in a while that I have watched Auburn play, and I think they're missing a point guard because Denver's not a point guard, right? He's kind of a combo, and Tahad really is more of a combo than he is a point. He's been terrific. Don't get me wrong, but this is one of those games where you really want like a traditional made at the factory point guard. You know what I mean? Who just dribbles and like a Tez Robertson or a Jared Harper, who can a Doc Robinson that can just handle the ball under pressure and it's never going to be a problem, And Georgia's the first team really that's consistently created this problem for Auburn, and it's because they're able or willing or both of getting that high pressure. Yeah, it's a problem. And there's got to be a solution to that, or it's just going to end up with as an L for the Auburn Tigers. Let me get that second half box score. These are going to be some ugly ass numbers. I can promise you that from an Auburn perspective. All right. Takes me just a second to cut these, just because they're a little tougher to find. All right, so this is going to be just the second half box, okay? It's going to be ugly. Not as ugly as I thought it would be, honestly. Georgia +5 on points this half. 5 of 8 from the floor for them. 2 assists, 1 turnover. Auburn's got 1 assist, 1 turnover. Not awful. 4 of 7 from the floor, 1 of 2 from 3. So they're shooting okay, Auburn is. Yeah, that's not as bad as I thought it would be. But Georgia 1.55 points per possession is, I mean, very small sample size, but that's a bad number. Bad number. Bill M says, love Tez. Sad he never had a good team. You're right, man. Tez was a absolute, he cared a lot, and he played his ass off. And they, back in those days, I mean, he was playing like 37 minutes a game. Like, he had games where he played 40 minutes. Yeah, MC Tigger, great question. Who hit the 3 during the commercial? I think I could probably sleuth that. It was Denver. Hit a 3 at the 16:10 mark, so it would have been, we missed Denver's splash. Let's see. Small Victory says, for some reason, Cardwell is switching to the number 40 per Auburn Twitter. I guess his jersey got blood on it or it got ripped or something maybe. He's not in there right now. But Turtle, oh, Georgia with a little bit of a problem there. Told you guys Turtle's good. Just kidding. As a layup. Shit, in this game, layups are tough, though. Oh, we got Chad Baker defending the point right now. That's interesting. Got Tahad in there. Tahad was late on that roll, and then he fouled him. I'm trying to see why Tahad was late on that roll. Going to show the replay, or I might have to go back for it. Yeah, here we go. Oh, this is Turtle. So Georgia was ratcheting up their pressure, which they've been doing, and that's really been the undoing of Denver on that one. Tahad, Blue Kane ran around a double screen, and Tahad got caught up on the second part of that double. So that's why he was a little bit slow on the response on that one. But that really wasn't the problem. He caught up quickly enough. I think it was just a foul on the shot. He, as BP likes to say, be the second guy off the floor. He wasn't in that case. Wizard D is just skeptical of the foul at all, so that's fair. 42-44, Auburn clinging to a smaller edge here. Auburn had, Tahad says, splash. That was a nice little dagger from Tahad to get Auburn going again. Put that foot down. Say, I got some big balls, boys. Chad playing, defending the point again. You like to see that. Nice play from Chaney. Kind of just thoughtfully swiping at the ball. Turtle. Oh, they're going to call Turtle for a foul. Gunner 357 just says, Blue Kane is a nerd. Do we hear of anybody that disagrees with that? No? Okay. We're going to go with that. Yeah. Seems like Tahad's the only guy hitting shots tonight so far. He's had a great game. Shooting. Other parts of the game have just been okay. I think his ball handling's been average. But he is playing with big balls, as is customary for him. Now, see, Georgia's trying to do a little DHO action there, and Auburn is all over that, swarming them. Blue Kane is allowed to get an offensive rebound like that is pathetic. Jeez Louise. 2 offensive rebounds on that possession. Turtle. Bro, I need some rebounding here, Holmes. I don't understand why the power forward is 16 feet from the hole when they're going for a second offensive rebound. I don't understand that. I don't understand it. Okay. Just a reminder, though, if you guys heard earlier, my friend J Dub, who's been on the show before, his father-in-law is having a kind of a tough go of it in the hospital the last week or so, and today in particular. So any prayers offered up, I'll take them. Well, not for me, but for Bill and for their family. All right, so Blue Cane hits a free throw, and then he missed one, and they got a stick back. So that's just bad. It was a good hustle, possession, maintaining by Chaney, but it was really just kind of Turtle fumbling the ball a little bit that made it so dangerous. Auburn just not playing a great game today so far. That's the truth. Sorry, answering some text here. All right, there we go. Got it handled. Apparently we had some bunker hiccups earlier. Let's see. Chris M wants to get Turtle off the floor. I tend to agree. Terrence says they miss Broom. I think, yeah, for sure. I mean, prior to his injury, right? He's playing at the highest level of anybody in college basketball. So, yeah. And he's good in so many different ways, right? Defensively, he's good. He's a good rebounder, a very good shooter inside of 10 feet. He's a good shooter outside of 10 feet, can hit threes. Good in transition, amazing passer. I mean, he's good at everything. And when you take him out of the equation, you drop in every aspect of the organization. So, yeah, it's a big hit. Everybody's getting very reactive to Turtle having a bad little stretch here. Carter now says Turtle needs to go find a rec league. Okay. Desperado updating us in the Alabama-Kentucky game, 99-95. A lot of defense being played in Lexington today. Wizard D correctly surmises that Bruce is just trying to get some minutes here so Dylan can finish this game. Remember, Dylan, until this year, was the kind of guy that could only play I'm not even sure he'd get 20 minutes a game. He would foul out or be in foul trouble. They need him a lot more right now, and he's done a much better job this season of preserving fouls. The stats that I have on your screen right now are from the second half only, so that's, if you're looking at that and going, he's not in foul trouble, and that's just second half stats. I need to get the updated second half stats, and I will work on that right now. I got a little carried away jabbering. As I do sometimes. Let's get the second half box score up. Dick Vitale got some great news earlier in the week, I think on Monday, that he was cancer-free again, which is amazing. Love him or hate him as a broadcaster, you've got to like him as a person. A lot of zest and zeal for life. And my experiences in interviewing and talking to Dick Vitale have been almost unanimously positive. Well, unanimously positive. He's kind of got that P.T. Barnum vibe about him too, but always makes time to talk to reporters and stuff, and he's cool about it. So I like him for sure. Here's the second half box only. Georgia +4 in points. And have a big rebounding advantage, 7-2 so far. 4 offensive rebounds. Of course, we saw 2 possessions ago where they had 2 on the same one. And I thought Turtle was a big reason for that. Looks like Turtle's going to stay out there, though. Trying to, again, preserve Dylan for that last run or whatever. If they need a last, that's got to be a foul. They didn't call a foul on it. All right. Steven is just like, what is it going to take, guys? Are they going to call a push-off on Chaney? So you go from Denver getting fouled, they're not going to call it, to Chaney, they're going to call him for an offensive foul and a push-off. That's a foul right there. Oh, it's Tahad, I'm sorry. Oh, they're going to say shot clock violation. My bad. Alabama won. Beat Kentucky. At Kentucky. It's a big win. Guys, did he get this ball off in time? Oh, man, that's really close. That was incredibly close. Looks like you guys can probably see it better than I can, and you're thinking that was not going to be, that's not going to go. Spicy P asks, is Chad alive? Chad has been a non-factor in this game from start to finish, hasn't he? And he's someone who's such a consistent factor, you know? I think what happened was he just got in a bad rut of shooting. I think he missed 7 or 8 in a row, and it's just affected him. And he can't have that same joie de vivre when he's missing shots like that. He's got to, though. Looks like they have judged that shot did not get off in time. So that's 2 points off the board for Auburn. Although you could argue it wasn't 2 points off the board because they didn't deserve it to start with. But either way, that's a shot that would have gone down had it gone down about 0.2 of a second earlier. And Auburn's still flailing a little bit in this game. Dillon back out there, having to play smart defense. Although he's gotten a lot better at that. Now, see, that call I thought was going to go against Auburn, and actually it went for Auburn in that one. So, let's see. Colby says Kentucky is garbage. I don't agree with that, unless you're talking about Kentucky basketball fans, in which case you probably have a point on that one. But I don't think the team is garbage. They'll give Auburn trouble. I'm not saying they're going to beat Auburn. I'm saying they're going to give them trouble. Boy, they're really harassing Chad up there, aren't they? That's a nice little crossover, though. He's having a lot of trouble. Cyril, really getting up in him. Here we go. Feel like a stranger thinks Pat Adams is ganging up on Auburn. Shoulder pads with spikes, man. I don't understand it. That's part of their culture, and obviously as someone who's not familiar with it and hasn't lived it, I don't get it. All right, so Chad finally splashes one. And maybe that's going to be a situation where he can pop back from that. Maybe that's a catalyst he needed to kind of get going. Look at this double team. Oh, this guy's in serious trouble there. What are you mad about, dude? You dribbled yourself into the corner with 2 guys in your face, and you're blaming everybody else? Shut up, you big baby. Why don't you take some accountability for your own actions? God, Chad looked over the bench like, finally, I get one to go down. Taxman, Auburn's jump shooting. I mean, I don't know how many fouls you're expecting here. They're jump shooting. That's what they do. And they're not attacking very much at all in this half. They're just kind of looking for open shots and jump shooting. So, but either way, splashing from Chad is definitely a good sign, hopefully, for moving forward. Reynolds is with us today. Yeah, it was a very timely 3 from Chad there. Hopefully it's the kind of thing that'll get him going because he's been an absolute – I wouldn't even give him an F today. I'd give him an incomplete. It's like he's not even out there, but that was a big-time bucket. Let's see. Poppy Clan says, get the bacon in the frying pan and lasagna in the oven. Chad Bacon lasagna, of course. Be huge to get him heating up. I think it was Cassidy P earlier that said, got to have one more person in addition to Hod go over 12 points. And maybe the answer to that question will be Chad Bacon lasagna. Ephesians says, you big baby. Yeah, what is he doing crying? Shut up, man. Stop picking up your dribble in the corner. That's the problem. So annoying. So annoying. I feel like a stranger out of nowhere just says, I love Marshawn Lynch. I do too. Oh, he might be on the NFL broadcast, maybe. Steven says we have to get to the basket if we want more blah, 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 blash. I want more Miles Kelly driving it like when he was on the floor. Yeah. And I think he's been doing better. Like the last game, he drove a little bit more because, he had been kind of a static 3-point shooter, spot-up shooter for a while prior to that. And I always kind of thought, he played a point at Georgia Tech. He was definitely an aggressive driver-type player. He comes here. Obviously, they're retooling him more as like a sharpshooter 3, but he has those skills, and Auburn needs more driving, so it was a perfect marriage. So he's doing good against Mississippi State. Today, I thought he was having some success. I'd like to see if they can maybe find some way to accentuate that advantage here in the second half. Wizard D says, I want to say something, but I will refrain from jinxing us. I appreciate that, Wizard D. I appreciate the restraint. All right, so we're going to reset here. Auburn's up 5. This has been a very a tight, back-and-forth kind of game, somewhat reminiscent of the South Carolina game 2 games ago, which was played in Columbia. The SEC has gotten very homey, with the exception of Auburn's been pretty good on the road, and Alabama with a big road win today against the University of Kentucky. So, and they're good. I mean, Alabama's a good basketball team. I think Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, and Florida are the power of this league right now. But the league, they got him again with that little back cut, and I absolutely love Chad just laying the ball at the baseline. That is so very Chad. It's friendly, but it's also passive-aggressive. Things you love to see. Let's see. Ephesians says, JG, you get the vibes of the dude in the pickup game that has his spot on the wing where he's deadly. You like the left corner 3, don't you? I like I don't like corner 3s. I like the wing 3s. But, yeah, I'm that guy. And I'm not a very good basketball player. I'm not quick enough. The only sport there's 2 sports I thought I was good at. Baseball for sure, and then tennis. Tennis is, I don't know. My dad was a big tennis guy back then. He'd be like, let's go out and hit. I'd be like, okay. But baseball is definitely my sport. I played on varsity as a 7th grader. But as Hal Baird told me, my arms are made for wiffle ball only. I have short arms. He said, I bet you were really good as a wiffle ball pitcher. I was like, I was. I really was. Dylan in the 4-0, making a nice defensive play right there. He's so improved, man. I'm going to be talking about that through the next, 20 games Auburn plays this year. Oh, Chadley. Splash. Chad gets Auburn back to 10 points out. He's gone back-to-back. I think it's on 3 possessions. He's hit 2 of the last 3 possessions. He's had a 3. Splash City. He also had a nice back cut to beat them off that little machination. So he's heating up here for sure. Oh, another nice defensive rebound from Chaney. Looks like Dylan might have gotten hit in the thigh there or something. Left thigh. I thought his defense was really good right there. I hope he can tough through that because Auburn really needs we've seen today that the drop-off from Dylan to look at that. They're beating him back screen again. Unfortunately, Miles lost it out of bounds. The drop-off from Dylan to Turtle is seismic today. You guys know I'm usually a Turtle apologist, but he's been pretty bad today. And Dylan has definitely not been bad today. He's been good. I want to see a little bit more from Miles. I want to see a little bit more from Denver. Just those guys have not been good today. But Chad has definitely picked up. Tahad was really good in the first half. And Chad's been the difference this half, honestly. He's personally on like a 10-0 run. All right, we got Denver back out there. You've got Kai out there now at wing, and you've got Turtle in there for Dylan. I don't hope that's not because of Dylan's thigh. I hope that's just kind of the plan to keep Dylan fresh for the last run. This is a terrible closeout. I think that's Turtle again. Fucking A, man. You can't leave anybody that open. Jeez Louise. All right, got Tahad out there. Okay, so you got Tahad at point with Denver playing 2, which is really the way I like it. To be fair, that is Asa Newell. You're not necessarily freaking out about him taking 3s, but that's his second one of this game. Let me see what his 3-point numbers are. About 30% coming into the game, so that's pretty good for a 6'11" center. Kai getting a little ambitious. Now, AU Taxman will be satisfied there because that's a legit drive. Got fouled. Going to go to the line. That's a good way to kind of operate. I like that. Yeah, Hayden, he saw that. I was going to say that closeout, that lack of closeout is really what it was, right? Poor. I just think he's like, his head's not in the game. That's what it looks like to me. Kai steps up and hits his first free throw. A guy leaves. Just talking the other day, Turtle was in an interview. Like, because he played a lot at SMU, although he wasn't a starter. He played a lot. He's like the sixth man. And then when he was at Georgia State, he started all the games. It was like, hey, man, has this been a tough transition, kind of going from playing a ton of minutes to not playing a ton of minutes? And he was like, hey, man, I'm prepping like I'm a starter and I'm ready to go, as soon as my number's called. Well, his number got called today, and he's not ready to go. And he's old enough to, he should be ready to go. Don't love Auburn's defensive movement here. Not as good as it was. Still got the turnover, though. You got to think Georgia's going to start wearing out a little bit on defense, too, because they've been high pressure, high. Oh, snap. There's another missed layup, guys. Oh, it's a hot. It fortuitously finds its way to his hands under the bucket. So he missed another layup, but then he got a second opportunity and put it in. So that's good. No, sir. Hey, Turtle. Nice play there for Turtle. He anticipated the lob and got in position and intercepted it. So that was a good play there. Haven't said that many times today. BP's not going to like that shot from Kai right there. He was asking them to switch the side. He was trying to get them to work on the passing tempo. And then Kai just did a backup three with probably 15 seconds on the shot clock. I don't know. AU Taxman says, how many layups are we going to miss? I can't tell you how many they're going to miss, but I can tell you how many they actually have missed. And the answer to your question is 8. They've missed 8. They're 7 of 15 on layups. No shit. To be fair, Georgia's 9 of 17 on layups. And incredibly, Georgia doesn't have a single dunk. Auburn is 3 of 5 on dunks. So at the rim, Auburn is 10 of 25. It's hard to fathom, honestly. Yes, Reynolds notes that Turtles kind of redeemed himself a little bit. He consummated, I guess, the interception on that tip that ended up going the other way, and then he had a great anticipation on the lob that went the other way too. So back-to-back plays, one of them a little bit fortuitous, but still in a good position, and keeping his eyes up and keeping an eye on what George is doing. So that's good. Beppo says, I thought we missed more layups. Beppo thought it was more than 8. Holy cow. Some talk about maybe Auburn's sick. I wasn't at practice on Thursday. And they practiced at Georgia, or they walked through yesterday at Georgia, so I wasn't there for that one for sure. But I'm not sure about that. I hadn't heard anything about it, though. When I was at practice Wednesday, I didn't see any of that. I take that back. I wasn't at practice because they didn't practice. I was up there, but there wasn't practice. I was actually watching the girls practice on Thursday. Spicy P says Georgia is not a tournament team. I think they might be. It'll be close. I think they're actually pretty good. Let's go ahead and get some fresh stats, guys. I don't know. I'm sitting here talking and thinking about the game, and I'm not getting you the stats that you damn well deserve. So at this point in the game, we'll go back to the full boxes because the first half boxes can get a little. I think they're very valuable early in the half, but I think as we move forward, I think the overall numbers are more valuable because then we can start getting a read for who's in true foul trouble and that kind of a thing. So here's the latest full box. I guess we're watching the end of the Alabama-Kentucky. 102-97 was the final there. Grant Nelson again. He's a bad man. Cassidy P says JGT digs a full box. Ephesians says, JG, what's going on with the ladies basketball team? So the girl who transferred in from Arkansas, whose name is escaping me at the moment, she's been hurt. And she's like their Janai Broom, basically. I mean, she doesn't play that position, but she's their absolute star player. And so it's just tough. And I just don't think they have enough firepower without her. I'm not sure they had enough firepower anyway, but they really need the Chinese girl who just got on campus, Yuting. They really need her to be good. And I think she's got some ability, but her first game was kind of a dud. She looked good in practice to me, particularly with her passing. I mean, she obviously has played basketball a lot, but they were hoping for more than 0 points. Let's see. I'm looking for foul trouble here. Turtle's got 3, which is not a big deal. Chaney has 2. And Dylan only has 1, so he's fine. For him, it's more of a minutes thing, I guess. Chaney's leading the team in minutes, which isn't surprising at 27. So he's going to definitely be closer to 35 when this bad boy's over. And maybe at this point, you can start playing kind of what I would call like full defense for those guys because they're not in foul trouble, and we're down under 7 minutes. So, but you also are tired. I mean, Chaney's been on the floor a lot, so it's kind of a 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Miles Kelly with a little pull up at the free throw line and splashes that bad boy. Gets Auburn back to 60. I do like Auburn's execution a lot better on the offensive end. It's been much crisper in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Miles Kelly with 11 points now. Having a good, credible game. I think it was Cassidy P thinking that had to have 12 or 13 points to really help Tahad, and it looks like Miles might get there. And Chad Bacon-Lasagna got there, so they've gotten their scoring back. Scoring swerve. You'd like to see a couple more stops here. Oh, my goodness. What another missed layup, Beppo. For fuck's sake, that's 9 missed layups for Auburn today. 9? Such a great move, too. Such a veteran, like, setting it up, switching over. Like, Still got Turtle in there playing for Dylan, which is surprising. I wonder if Dylan's thighs is bothering him. God, it's tough missing the layups, man. Daniel P. can't believe it. Cassidy P. says, don't remember us missing this many point-blank shots. I mean, it's got to be the most in a while. Somebody was saying, I can't see the name, thinking that Cardwell's sick or has a knock. That was Wizard D. He's back in there now. He was playing great early in the game. He looked like he's playing with his usual passion. It just seems like they haven't been playing him as much. All right, this is going to be a tough one. Tyron Lawrence against Dylan. Oh, what are they going to call on this? Wonder if he's cramping up or something. Oh. I think that's the same thigh he was having trouble with earlier. I think he just kind of like, he might have just got kneed in his thigh there or his quadriceps. And he's just struggling with it a little bit. He kind of landed awkwardly on it. This is not good because he's such a crucial, with Janai out, you really need Dylan in there to kind of set the tone for your rim protection. And without him, you've got to rely on, well, hell, now they don't even have Turtle in there. I think it's more than a cramp. Ambitious. I think he got kneed in that thigh about 5 minutes ago. Maybe a little bit longer now, and I think he's just trying to kind of work it out there. That's what he's doing right there. The problem with something like that is if you keep aggravating it, you turn that into a proper, quadricep strain, and it could take a little while to get over. It's not like what Janai's dealing with, but it can be a little bit of a serial problem. Kanuman says, what's up with Dylan's jersey? It just got torn earlier. And the solution to that problem was to give him a backup jersey. So that's why he's wearing the 4-0 now. There's another missed layup, but that's not Chaney's fault. That's Denver's fault. That's a 2-on-1 break, and they go for the alley-oop, and the pass sucks, and Chaney can't save it. What are we doing here with the lineup? Okay, you've got Chaney's playing de facto 5 now with Kai playing de facto 4, I guess. I bet Simo's just sitting there going, I can't even get on the floor right now. So you've got 3 wings on the floor right now. You've got Kai, Chad Bacon Lasagna, and Miles are all playing when they're all, by definition, wings. I mean, Miles can play 2, which is what he's doing right now. But listen, man, we're over here bitching about the missed layups, but Georgia's going to have their own. Georgia's got their own sources of frustration, too. They've missed a lot of easy shots as well near the bucket. But Azanul got him on that one, and he's got it down to 6 points. Auburn with a very, very strange lineup right now, one I don't think we've seen all year. I thought that was a foul for sure, as Chaney went up for like a little right-handed push shot and no call. Man, this is just really, really harried right here. I will say this. One of the good things about this is when you get into March Madness, some really weird shit goes down for various reasons. You get in foul trouble, you get hurt, whatever. And you got to play some weird lineups. And this is a good chance to play a weird lineup right here. I could also see certain situations where you'd want to play this lineup against a certain kind of team. Like if you're playing a team that has kind of oafs at 3-4-5, and then you've got Chaney's not in foul trouble, you might try this to try to beat them in transition or something like that. That does not accurately depict Georgia. They don't have oafs at 3-4-5. Auburn's doing this because of Dillon being hurt, but Carter B says rests are not this shit in March, though. Pat Adams he'll probably be in the Final Four this year. Or at least get to, nice anticipation by Chad Bacon Lasagna. Nice bucket. I was going to advocate for him to back that out a little bit, but that's fine. He can do that too. What it would be like to have actual athletic ability, I ask myself all the time. A little ambitious on that closeout. See, Georgia missed another layup. They've having their own layup problems. I think they've missed 10 as well. Let's get back to the layup counter here. Georgia's now 10 of 20 on layups. The Auburn Tigers are 8 of 18, so both teams have missed 10 layups today. Auburn is 3 of 6 on dunks, and they are now 1 of 1. So these two teams are having essentially equal problems finishing at the rim. Crazy. Daniel P. says, Chad having to be the stabilizing force is a concern. And a small-time Republic says Denver cleared the lane for blue. Now, Denver was a little bit late on that closeout, and then he over-pursued it a little bit, and then, boom, went right past him. Ephesians says, is that 11 missed layups now? I've got it officially as 10. They're 8 of 18 on layups. Yeah, I've got them as 8 of 18 on layups, 3 of 6 on dunks. And they're 10 of 20, so they've missed 10 as well. MC Tigger thinks Auburn looks a little gassed. I have to agree a little bit. I wouldn't have said that in the first half, but this half for sure. I thought that closeout that we just watched that got Blue Cane, that wide open run, that just looked like a gassed kind of closeout, like you're talking about. I feel like a stranger says, one headlight, drunk, low tire, and gaslight on, almost home. Hopefully not drunk, but the other stuff, yes. Reynolds believes that this is going to be a perfectly timed off week for the Auburn Tigers, and I think he could be right 100%. It's certainly in the case of Janai trying to get back over that fairly severely sprained ankle, but also just kind of just getting yourself back together, to get some rest. Kind of get your body out of this, 2 games a week, thrash kind of thing. Some great news since we started. The show is asking for prayers at 2 separate occasions, and the report is that Bill, J-Dub's father-in-law, is off the ventilator now. So that is big. He was on the ventilator for about 24 hours, by my guesstimation, but is off now. So that's really good. So appreciate that, guys. Appreciate the prayers on that. I know we're in a clutch part of the game here. I just want to give an update on that one. Let's see. Ugly game. Steven says cheddar bacon lasagna and cheddar. That's pretty good. And Pettifer need to finish this. It looks that way. Ephesians says, JJ, I need you running the layup line this week in practice. 300 straight, and if we miss one, we're starting over. Man, that's rough. I don't want to be the unpopular coach telling him that, you know. Oh, Chad. Oh, I thought, he's not really arguing that, though. I thought Chad might have. Turtle going in for a high five, and nobody gave him one. Boy, Turtle's been just a wet fart today. Played a lot of minutes for him and really hasn't been very effective. He did have that one little run defensively where he had a nice steal and then another like tipped a ball away that was going to be a dunk ski. So he's had his moments, but overall not very good. Chad's really been the story of this half. Tahad was the story of the first half, I thought, and Chad's been the star in this half. And those two guys really haven't gotten a lot of help. Although Miles Kelly's been at least okay. All right, Georgia goes one of two, at the line and gets it up to 55 now. A number that Sammy Hagar appreciates or doesn't appreciate, depending on what car he's in. If he's in the Ferrari Testarossa, probably not as much. But he also drives a Chevy Bolt. I'm kidding. He probably doesn't. Wow. It's good defense, man. Chad thought he was going to get himself a layup there when he got his left hand extended. And Tyron Lawrence said, no, sir, I'm on this. It's a nice play. God, number 5 did a great job getting in. And then he had nowhere else to go. It's the same guy that was crying over there, dribbling himself into the corner and bitched at all his teammates about getting stuck over there. That's really good defense from Tyron Lawrence, honestly. And then he turned to look at Chad, too. What if those two guys know each other from recruiting? Because I think Chad would have just been getting here when Tyron was getting recruited by Auburn. Oh, you called bank. No, I'm just kidding. Got an and 1-2. That guy has been a real problem today. He's a player, man. I mentioned it on the bunker when we were talking about this game. I said Azanul will give you hell every minute he's in the game. And he continues to fight. He's a fighter, man. This is going to be a tight finish, man. This kind of reminds me of the Texas game, minus the great play early in the second half, right? Cassidy pieces with Cheney. It's
sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Azanul hits the free throw, so we're down to 4 points here. Got about 3 minutes to go. Auburn is compromised, to say the least. Obviously with Janai out, but also looks like Dylan is not going to be available. At least you would think he'd be in the game right now if he was going to be available. He took what I think was a knee to the thigh, and then he came back in the game to kind of fight through it, and he landed awkwardly on that leg, going for a block, and then he came out. Now, I don't think that's a serious injury the way Janai's was, but he may be out for the rest of this afternoon. Tahad with a little floater. That was a big bucket right there with the right hand, too. A lot of guys, particularly at that age, can't do that. Can't hit shots like that with their offhand, but Tahad really is pretty much amphibious. That's a really nice closeout from Miles. It was really smart. He didn't over-pursue that. He kind of shuffled his feet and didn't over-pursue it, and that really eliminated what that kid could do with the ball right there. And he actually triggered a turnover because of that. That's a really good defense from Miles Kelly. Now, Georgia screwed that up, but he made it easy for them to screw it up, and they did. Miles has been kind of a unheralded hero of this game, I think, because he's been consistent, and he's helped a lot defensively. Taha doing his start-stop, doing a little Mike Hampton fastball, change-up. Ambitious is Tahad is super skilled. He sure is, man. Blows me away how polished he is at his age. And that's not necessarily something I was expecting. Small Victory says amphibious. My man, I'm glad you picked up on that. Not ambidextrous, but amphibious. And Beppo says frog. Tahad, that's right. He is amphibious. This could finish the game right here. Had Chad Bacon Lasagna hit that 3 right there, I think that would have probably finished him off, honestly. I think Auburn could have coasted from there, just kept him at bay, you know. But he didn't hit it. Looks like Chaney got the offensive rebound and was fouled, trying to stick it back from 11 feet, and I think he's going to go to the line. AU Taxman says Hampton could rake. He absolutely could. One of the best hitting pitchers of my lifetime. Madison Bumgarner, also very good. But Mike Hampton, such a great fastball changeup guy. Big drive from Chaney. Chaney can't get the ball back, but Turtle got the second chance opportunity and couldn't put it in, but got fouled. So now he's going to the line. 15 offensive rebounds for Auburn. I didn't realize it was that many. That's pretty good. I thought Georgia would have had more second chance points. Actually, both of these teams should have a lot more second chance points because they both keep missing short range shots. It said that the Bears were trying to talk to Mike Tomlin. Why? No, of course Pittsburgh wouldn't allow that. Amphibious turtle. My man. Oh, Turtle missed his first free throw. Oh, goodness. Boy, he's been in the spotlight today, and he has not stood up for the most part. Got the second one. That was big. Every point is a big one now. 65-58. I mean, if you just kind of hold serve, you get a couple stops and you got this one locked up. They still probably got a 78% chance of winning this game right here. And if they can get a stop on this possession, it probably goes up to 88%. Azanul against Turtle makes me nervous. That was actually good defense, but Azanul was up to the task with a nice little hook from about 7 feet. So that pushes them up to 60. Georgia's still putting a lot of pressure up high, particularly on Denver, which is smart. He's already proven that he can't handle that as well as others. I'd like to see Miles Kelly do something here. I really thought that was setting up, and I think Miles Kelly did too. So he rolled off that screen, and he drew 2 defenders to him, and he thought somebody's got to be open near the bucket, and then they called a timeout. It looked like Auburn called it. Miles was doing that perfectly. He was running that machination perfectly, and I don't think he had anybody to throw the ball to. Tortuous, Sam H. says. Great word. Great word. Small victories. We marvel every week. He says, how does Vegas know it's a 5.5 line? And here we are. Let's see. Ephesians says Tahad not on the floor is crazy. All right, let's see what happens when they come out of this break. Right now they've got, looks like Dylan's coming back out. So you're going to have Denver at 1, Miles at 2, Chad at 3, Chaney and Dylan in the post is what BP feels like is his best group right now. Among the players he has available. This has been kind of all hands on deck here. By the way, as a reset, Tahad has 22. Chadley has 13 after that awful, awful run where he missed probably 8 or 9 shots in a row. He's still 5 of 16 from the floor, but he's got 13 points, and Miles is still at 11 on 4 of 8 shooting. Auburn right now is 10 of 23 from three-point range, which is pretty, that's pretty good. but they're 39% overall, which means their 2-point shooting has been absolute dog shit, and that's what happens when you go 8 of 20 on layups. They've missed 12 layups today. Good golly, Miss Molly. Another good choice. Oh, here comes Miles Kelly. He's another one he can't finish at the frickin' line at the rim. Still a great drive though, and he's going to go to the line for 2. I was just saying, I'd love to see Miles Kelly have a chance here. He's been underutilized, and he's got that quickness similar to Tahad, and I think he can take these guys off the dribble, which he just did right there. And he finished in traffic. He did a hell of a job getting a good shot. Just didn't get it in. Oh, was able to rim that first free throw in. Kind of a weird game, man. So many missed shots at the hole for both teams. Spicy P says he loves Miles Kelly to the hole. I do too. All right, so he hits both and gets Auburn back up to 7 with just under 1 minute to go. You got to feel like Auburn's chances at this point are probably around 90%, if not a little bit better. Chad Bacon Lasagna almost got the steal on the inbound. Auburn just going to play drop back defense on this. Chad got beat. And they missed another layup. By the way, you talked earlier about Pat Adams being a pox. People who wear different colored shoes on each foot, they're a pox. That's just a bad idea. Not as bad as driving a Cybertruck, but bad. I'm just kidding. I wish I had a Cybertruck. All right, Auburn's got possession now after that missed free throw and ball goes out. I'm sorry, missed a layup is what I meant to say. Auburn's got a good shot to win this game now. Really good. Tahad's going to go to the line for 2, and if he hits both, he's going to put them up 9 with 45 seconds to go, and I think you'd have to just feel pretty good about it then. BP is going to be very complimentary of his ball club here after this because they really did have to go through the gauntlet here, had to fight through some personnel shortages, I guess you could say, some injury situations with Dylan being hurt, Chad being just completely ice cold for most of the game. He's been really nice in the last, 6 or 7 minutes. He's been much better. Tahad's been terrific all day long. I think Miles Kelly's been terrific all day long. We've noticed it more on the defensive end, but maybe a little underutilized on the attacking end, but he's been good statistically. And I think that his drive and then hit both free throws on the last possession was big. I mean, that really essentially solidified the game. Tahad hits both and gets Auburn up to a 9-point lead here with 42 seconds to go. Just such an up and down game for Auburn. But there was the good news for Auburn is there was always somebody who was hitting, right? Early it was Tahad, then it was Chad, and then Tahad hit a few more here super late, and Miles Kelly was just kind of consistent all the way through. There was somebody who was hot enough. That's a bad defense right there, but whatever. Pepe LeFew gets the layup to go and gets that down to 7. But with 32 seconds to go, it's going to take a whale of a performance to get them back within striking distance here. Sam H says, my neighbors just got a Cybertruck. Hideous. Everyone says it's hideous unless they're driving it. I would personally love to drive one, but I also like to roll up and down the highway on full self-driving, and that has a really good FSD system. Ben says, you were wrong on prediction, JGT. I am thankful that you were. I did say on the rundown on Wednesday that I thought Auburn would lose this game. It just looked like a setup for trouble because Georgia has been playing some good basketball. And I do think Georgia played pretty good today, but they had the layup problem. And Auburn did too, to be fair. So if it comes down, if they're all kind of facing the same setbacks, Auburn's a better team. So I'm not surprised to see Auburn win this game. But this is a gut check. This was not a straightforward win by Auburn at all. It took some kind of special performances, honestly. And they had to earn that one. They did get worked by Asa Newell, but Georgia got worked by Tahad and Miles Kelly, who are just quicker, really, than what Georgia's got in front of them. So, it's kind of two guys slugging away, Let's see. Tim says, I like doing truck things, so not sure Cybertrucks are for me. Yeah, if you like doing truck things, that Cybertruck is not I guess it's a truck in theory, but if you're coming from a Chevy Silverado or a Ford F-150 or F-250, no. That's just a fake big blob of nothing compared to those. Solo Tigre's here with us here at the end. Elite, you picked the right time to show up, brother, because this is when finally we're kind of a low stress situation here. Auburn's been ahead the whole time, but boy, it's gotten tough at times. It's just kind of like trudging through snow, kind of prescient considering what we're going to be facing early part of this coming week. Talking about having, I was trying to read the chat and talk at the same time. Talking about having some snow here. Probably not in Birmingham, at least according to what we're seeing right now, but maybe from Clanton down to Mobile, there's going to potentially be a swath of snow in that area. Montgomery, Enterprise, Andalusia, Dothan, Evergreen, Mobile, obviously. And, we don't see a lot of snow down here. The city of Montgomery does not own a snowplow, so. Somebody did mention earlier they would have. Wizard D talked early. He did make a reference maybe 15 game minutes ago, refrained from saying that Auburn has never trailed in this game. He said he didn't want to say it to jinx anybody. And now he says it. Now he feels comfortable. I like that. Let's see. Poppy Clan says, much better listening to this than the TV call. I appreciate you saying that, bro. I try to, bring it from a 100% Auburn perspective. Chip, my man, is checking in. Says 1 to 3 inches expected in Mobtown. It's so perfect because my wifey, she went on a girls' trip this weekend to Vegas, and she's supposed to be coming back Tuesday, and so she's like, I go to Vegas, she's never gone to Vegas without me, and then the one time I'm going to go is the one time they're actually going to have snow, like here, and it could potentially affect her ability to get back home, but we'll see how it goes. We've been called for snow a bunch of times since 2018. That's the last time I saw snow here, and it didn't materialize, so we'll see how this does either. If he hits these free throws, that's definitely going to be game over. He did not hit the free throws because he missed the front end. So 30 seconds to go. Auburn's up 7 is what I'm looking at. Mitch says, I listen to JG and Fish, Damian Fishback. All right, so Georgia's hit a 3, adding some anxiety here. 69-65. I still think Auburn's got a 90% chance of winning this game. Reynolds Wolf, who definitely would know what he's talking about in this, says absolute legit shot of snow in Auburn through Montgomery and down to the coast. I don't know enough about meteorology to understand why it would not be in Madison or in Birmingham, but it would be in points south. But I know there's a very good reason, and it's a reason that I know Reynolds would understand fully. I don't understand it. I always feel like, colder, northern is colder, right? But in this case, not so much. Wizard D says, I listen to both. Boy, that's tough. I don't think I could do that. I know that when I watch Manchester United games, when I do, which is not that often, there's a guy named Mark Goldbridge who does similar shows to like what I'm doing, although he's much better at it. And I listen to him and just have the game on the TV. I don't listen to it, and then I just have him on. Stu Pup says, too cold to snow above that line. Okay. I've never heard that one before. Spicy Pieces, they're literally wearing shoulder pads in their student section. God bless these leg humpers. My man. Shane jumps in with another super chat. Another super chat. Says, why is our best free throw shooter triggering inbounds? Well, Auburn has multiple very good free throw shooters, right? I mean, Chad and Denver are both really, really good, and Tahad's good. So that's the luxury you have maybe when you have multiple guys who can actually hit free throws. Now, Poppy Clan does make a good point that Tahad has not had a great free throw shooting day. Let me see what his numbers are. Tahad is 5 of 8 from the line today, which is obviously way off his usual. Auburn got 18 free throws up today, at least so far, and Georgia's got 18, so no advantage there. Well, I mean, there's plus 3 points, but they both took 18 free throws today. Let's see. Reynolds has the answer. More moisture towards the coast, less moisture for snow formation to the north. There you go. There's your answer. I had not even considered that. Had I considered that there would be more moisture near the body of water, near the Gulf of America, then these things don't occur to me because I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, looks like it's going to be Denver going to the line here. He's a very good free throw shooter, so you'd feel like he's got a good shot. Reynolds says what we all feel. Says, God, I hate UGA. I can't think of a team that I dislike more than Auburn. Than Georgia, excuse me. I love seeing Auburn beat Georgia in anything. I don't care what it is. Debate, fashion show, whatever it is. Daniel Peace is the damn Gulf of America. I love it, dude. I think that's hilarious. All right, let's see if Denver can continue his hot free throw shooting in a general sense. He's been good all year. It's the first one. Gets Auburn to the 70 mark. This has been a very long game. We went live 2 hours and 20 minutes ago. This is almost as long as the Missouri game, excuse me. And Russell says, God bless the Gulf of America. My man. All right, so he hit the first one, and on my TV, he missed the second one. So it's still a 5-point advantage. 15 seconds to go. And there's no harm in letting him drive and get a layup instead of fouling him. So it's 67-70. Auburn's got possession. Auburn got stuck in the corner there a little bit and gave up a three-pointer. Well, that could have been calamitous right there. Good God. Oh, Tahad, easy, buddy. I wouldn't wave goodbye just yet. They're going to adjudicate this, and if it's Pat Adams running the show, you never know how it's going to go. So Auburn lets him score. Auburn gets stuck in the corner. Miles Kelly gets kind of pinned in the corner, and number one got a three-point shot and missed it. Boy, that could have been really bad, dude. That almost reminded me of that NCAA tournament game in Minneapolis back, was it 99? When Jimbo Tolbert got stuck in the corner like that. Oh, man. Yeah, Carter, man, you're telling the truth right there. So thank God he missed that. What if he'd hit that? Holy cow. You get that close. Kanuman says, fashion show. Fashion show! My man. Russell says, Greenland's soon going to be Orangeland. Winning. My man. No politics in this chat, all right? JG. Wow, what a finish here, bro. Yeah, Steven says that ball was halfway down the rim on that three. Now, I thought he hit the far lip. Got really close. So Denver and Tyron Lawrence were kind of going for the rebound on that, and it seemed like Denver had a better shot at that. Like, had better position on it, and then I don't know. So, looks like they're adjudicating this as a 0.6 seconds left. And they're going to call a foul on the floor, but everybody's in the double bonus on the rebound. Chad Pruitt giving him the clap. Oh, that didn't sound right. Just giving him some positive encouragement there. Carter says, Pat, you got your money. It's under the 5.5. You don't have to make anything up. I'm not exactly sure why they're getting free throws here. Wizard D. I just know that I thought that Denver had position there on Tyron Lawrence for the offensive rebound, and they're going to call an on-the-floor foul against Denver. Let me see how this is on the stat broadcast. Yeah, just like I told you. He hit the first one. So with 0.6 seconds left, he's got to miss this second one and hope for a tip in, right? Pocket Watch is ahead of us a little bit, and he says that game is over. It was very dramatic, though. He missed the free throw. And I thought, and the ball definitely got tipped out of bounds. I thought it might have gone off Chaney. The clock is at 0, but it looks like Pat Adams is going to try to adjudicate this and see if there's any time left. I'm pretty sure it went off Chaney, though. But there is an amount of time between when it was touched and when it actually went out of bounds. But we're kind of splitting hairs here. Stoop Up thinks there's going to be about 0.2 left here. And that is definitely possible. I think that's probably the most likely scenario. Of course, Pat Adams loves to extend games as much as possible, preferably for him with foul calls. But in this case, there's extra time added to the clock. Crazy how tight this game has gotten. I felt like Auburn really had essentially put this thing away. And then somebody missed the front end of a 1-and-1. Was it Tahad there maybe a minute ago or at the 45-second mark? And I mean that was a big miss there. Let's see. Jester says dumbest ending of a game I can remember. I can definitely remember a dumber one. The Virginia game when they just kind of missed a double dribble. Oops. Oh yeah, it was a double dribble. Oh, I forgot what a double dribble is. My bad. My wife's asking for updates. Somewhere presumably over Arkansas at this point. Somewhere out that way. Ambitious says make free throws, and we're not in this situation. You're absolutely true about that. You're absolutely right about that, I should say. And also maybe hit some some layups. That would be terrific. All right, so the official judgment here is 0.3 seconds left with Georgia inbounding underneath the bucket. So really all you can do here is tip it one way or another, so Auburn's got to be very careful near the bucket to make sure that you don't allow. Oh, my God, they actually got their shot. But Azanul missed it. Guys, man, such an unconvincing finish to the game for Auburn. I mean, they had Georgia had the 3-point shot in the corner that could have tied it. And then this, essentially a tip in or that Azanul had he's having to push Dylan to get at the shot, but man. Oh, that's just too close for words, man. Good golly. Daniel D says, I'll take it, and I respect that opinion. It's a W regardless. But 70-68. Wow. I mean, what do you say about this one? Man, overcoming a lot of problems, right? I don't want to say adversity, but problems. I mean, particularly bad, impossibly bad at the finishing at the rim today. But Sam H is absolutely right. We're in a scoreboard business. It's a binary business. It's a 1 or a 0. In this case, it's a 1. It's a win. And you got the win. I'm trying to figure out what Pocket Watch says, what's the good word? And I'm trying to understand what you mean by that. If it's about JW's father-in-law, I think it's good. If it's about this win or the loss, it's also good because Auburn won the game. Small Victories calls it character building. I have to agree with that. Poppy Clan says tough loss for the Dogs. It's a nice loss for you to poop on. Golly. P-Pass, what's up, man? Good to have you back here today. It says in March, this game is forgotten. Unless we come back and say, hey, remember that time they played Georgia and missed 55 layups? That sucked. Stu Pup has a super chat coming through. Never a doubt, had it all the way. Oh, man. Stu Pup, I know you never doubted him. And Don Proper Dickin coming in from Southern Holland near Maastricht says, surely there's a way to give Georgia another chance. Pat Adams is like, is there any way we can do this? Please, TV Teddy, ghost of TV Teddy, please. Nope. Or John Clockerty. He would have tried to. John Clockerty could have figured that out. All right, let me get these final stats up here that you guys really, really deserve. You probably deserved this like 45 seconds ago while I was mocking Pat Adams for his ability to be a drama queen and also to extend games himself. Cass DP jumping in with a super chat as well as I'm getting these hot, fresh stats. Wow, 70-68 in a game that I thought Auburn was going to win by 10. It's all part of it. Let me get these stats up, and then we'll work on these super chats that are coming in. Here are the hot, fresh final stats of this game. We got a lot to talk about here. Man. Stu Pup says 3-0 on the road in SEC play, nothing to sneeze at. You are damn right, considering the strength of this league. And Georgia's good, too. Somebody said earlier, I think it was Spicy P that was saying he didn't think that UGA is going to be a postseason, well, not postseason, but NCAA tournament team. I think they will, but they're very good at home, and they're not going to lose a lot of games at home. But Auburn was up to the task today. What's the good word? Follow up on that. I dropped the ball on that one. It was go to hell UGA. My bet on that. And of course, you know how I feel about it. Super chats coming through from Cassidy P. Proud of this team. Closing out a game with Turtle and a single-digit lead is huge. We won despite poor free throw shooting, close range twos, and turnovers. Edge. O and F-U-G-A. I think we're spelling that out now. O-F-U-G-A. You can make that like a handle on the bunker, too. Or just F-U-G-A. Fuga. I wouldn't ban it. I feel like a stranger says down both centers against Pat Adams. I like that. Against him. On the road, and we beat puppy ass. Do we have a sound for beating puppy ass? No. We do? We don't. We do? I'm told we don't. I don't know. Sorry, I feel like a stranger. The support staff is not on their game today. Put the donut down, bro. Also, Cleveland Brown, kind of doing a reverse Cleveland Brown. He usually starts off the show by telling me to stay hydrated, but today closes. Say, what a win. Stay hydrated. Word, amigo. I filled this bad boy up before we started the show to make sure that I would stay nice and hydrated. I did not follow your guidance last night while I was out with our friends, and I paid the price this morning. But I did make it here because I love you guys, and I will always be here for you, just like you're here for me. It's symbiotic. It's symbiosis. Let's go through some of these numbers. Auburn finishes with a negative assist-to-turnover ratio for the first time I can remember. I know it's happened many, many times in history, but I haven't remembered it with this team. 7 assists and 11 turnovers for Auburn. 7 assists on 24 buckets. I keep marveling at how low those numbers are, that ratio, and then it keeps happening. So in Texas it was like that. Mississippi State was like that. South Carolina was like that. And now you've got a game like this. So the passing really wasn't as good today as it has been. Or at least it was prior to conference play, excuse me. But to be fair, I bitch about that. And at the same time, Georgia's got 8 assists and 12 turnovers, so they kind of had their own problems. A number that sticks out to me there is Georgia's 9 of 20 from the free throw line, and a number that's not even on here, but it's the free throw the shots at the hole. It's not a stat that's on this sheet, but it is a true stat that actually occurred. Auburn was 8 of 20 on layups today. 8 of 20. And they're 3 of 6 on dunks. So that is 11 of 26 on shots this far away. Holy shit. And Georgia wasn't much better. They were 12 of 23 on layups and 1 of 1 of dunks. So they were 13 of 24 from this far away. Just amazing, man. Absolutely amazing. It is another quad one win, though. That is 100% true. And Auburn's got 8, I believe. Is that right? D-Lucky reminds us. Frank correctly notes that the team now has a full off week to go into the Tennessee game, which is going to be an absolute showdown. Game day is going to be here or there, or however you want to look at it. Going to be at Neville for that game, because that's going to be a showdown between two of the best teams in the country. That will be at Neville. And tickets for that are going in the $600 to $900 range. That's going to be a hot ticket. One of the hottest tickets ever inside Nev. No doubt about that. P-Pass thinks that's usually a 10-point loss. Watch the game that Auburn played today is usually a 10-point loss, particularly on the road. But Georgia had their own problems, and also Auburn's defense, I thought, was high energy for most of the game. There was an area there, about midway through the second half, that I thought it really dropped, but picked way back up as the game neared its conclusion. Ravin says, just got off work. What did I miss? Oh, nothing. Nothing really going on. It was just another ho-hum win. MC Tigger jumps in with another super chat. Appreciate you being here with us and also for super chatting. Says, here's the different colored kicks, cyber trucks, and peppering foosball players with Orville Redenbacher. Thanks, Jay. Enjoyed it. It wasn't even a kernel. It was popped. How could it possibly be dangerous? Quentin asks, am I excited for the inauguration? It's going to be indoors, and I didn't get invited despite my best efforts. So, no, I'm not going to be excited because I don't get to go. But, of course, I would be excited to go had I been invited. I think. Although, if it's going to be that cold, would I really want to go? I don't know. Stoop Up says that Ohio State win probably going to drop to a quad 2 soon. I hate it when we have to do this retroactive stuff, right? Because, if you're macking a chick when she's a freshman and she's hot, and then later on she turns ugly, and then it goes from, a good pull to a bad pull, I hate that. It is what it is in the moment. You know what I mean? If she was hot then, that's all that matters. Why do I always equate it to something like that? Oh, my wife would ask that question, I'm sure. Ravin, you did miss a good one, though. Well, a good one in the fact that it was exciting. Auburn was up 10 with, let's see what the numbers are on that. When was Auburn actually up 10? Fairly late in this game, Auburn was up 10. It looks like I am wrong about that. This is really annoying. Auburn was up 10 with 6:49 to go. And then Auburn was up 9 with 41 seconds to go. And the truth is that Georgia had 2 very good opportunities to equalize in the last 10 seconds. They had a 3-pointer that went a little bit long, and then they had a tap in at the buzzer that he missed that I probably hits 8 times out of 10. P-Pass says, Jay, the key is you are not the father. Hey, P-Pass, that ain't my baby. That ain't my baby. All right, let's go through some of this. Let's give out some letter grades off the hoof. I'm interested to see what you guys think about it. Denver Jones, for me, probably a C-. Ball handling was trash today. Did compete defensively, gave it hell. Was definitely a benefit on the defensive end, but his passing was, 3 turnovers and 0 assists. And realistically, stats aside, he had a lot of trouble dribbling under pressure today, right? Because Georgia really extended their pressure and made a commitment to attack him with the ball in his hands, and he did not do very well with that. So, and he's also minus 16 on the plus minus, which is pretty amazing considering you look at all the other numbers out there. So for me, Denver gets a C-, helped only, buoyed by his defensive effort and effectiveness. I thought he was pretty good defensively, but the rest of his game was not good today. Chad Bacon, lasagna, a disastrous first half. But to be fair, he was missing shots. He wasn't just sucking. He just wasn't shooting well. And he was able to hit, I think, he hit a 3 and then a 2 on a back cut, and then he hit a 3 on 3 possessions. So all of a sudden, he kind of caught fire. And I felt like we saw the regular Chad after that. So for me, that's probably going to end up being a B+, because because he was so good in the second half once he got going again. But we can't ignore the fact that he had that really, really cold stretch late in the first half, and it even started in the second half too. So I'll give him a B+. But his he was really a key cog in the last 15 minutes of this game. Miles Kelly, for me, probably gets a higher grade than most people would give him. Defensively, he was a pain in the ass all day long. Goes 100% at the free throw line. And he was quicker than the guys that were defending him. Let's be honest about it. If he just finishes a couple of those layups, he ends up with, coming up on 20 points. He finishes actually with 13 on 4 of 8, which I'm fine with. 5 rebounds is pretty good from a wing. I would give him a B+. Chaney, 2 points on 1 of 9 shooting. I didn't realize it was that bad. 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers. So statistically, that's not a good day. But the fact that he plays 35 minutes, he only picks up 3 personal fouls. It's so crucial that he stays in the game, right? Because they don't have a lot of choices without him at power forward. At power forward specifically. So I'm going to give him a C+. Probably normally would have gotten a D, but he stays in the game, and that's worth something right there. Dylan, 2 points on 1 of 2 shooting. You're not really worried about him being a scorer. 7 boards, 4 blocks, limited to 22 minutes, not because of foul trouble, but because he picked up a knock on his left thigh that was then exacerbated. Spicy Pieces, Chaney gets an F+ from him. I respect that opinion. It was not a good day for him, but I do think that him just staying in the game is worth something. And maybe you're saying, yeah, that's how I gave him an F+ instead of just a straight F. So respect on that. Not his best game at all. Dylan, I thought competed. I'd give him a C probably. Tahad, I'd give him an A. I just thought he was crucial. He was the guy in the first half that was carrying them. And then he hit his free throws for the most part later in the game, although he missed the front end of a 1-and-1 that could have put that game away. But he's in the game. He was the quickest player on the floor. He gave Auburn an advantage all the time with the ball in his hands, and he was a much better ball handler than Denver today. Because if they hadn't had Tahad, they would have been bogged down. So I'm going to give him an A. Jakai didn't play enough for me to really degrade him. Simo just played 1 shift. And then Turtle, for me, probably a D or a D-. 18 minutes. And he gets 5 points on 2 of 3 shooting, so effectively that's not too bad. It's somewhat efficient, but just watching him play, he just looked confused and lost for a lot of that. So for me, that's a D. So my player of the game would be Tahad in that situation, with a runner-up to Chad and also Miles Kelly. Terrence says that last foul call on Denver was bogus. I just don't even understand how that's a foul on him. I thought it was going to be a tie-up. And I thought Denver was he had rebounding position. So I don't know. Chip says my overall grade is a W, and at the end of the day, that's what really matters. He also had a super chat earlier. Says breaking Orange Beach Bunker Bash is going to be on April 26th. April 26th is what we're going to be doing. So that's huge. Absolutely huge. If there's any way I can be there, I will be there. I mean, I think I can't imagine a situation where I wouldn't be there, but I'll be there. Let's see. Cassidy P has come in with his grades. He says Tahad, Chad, and Dylan get an A. Okay, respect it. Kelly gets a B. Denver and Kai get a C. Chaney and Turtle get a D. And Simo gets a incomplete. Solo Tigre said of that last foul call, Tyron Lawrence actually got to go to the line on that. Dude was over Denver's back for sure. I don't know about that, but I definitely think that Denver had the advantageous position there. And I was thinking tie-up. Terrence was as well. So they were side by side and both had possession. I don't understand how that became a foul on Denver. I don't know, but anyway. One Fly says, Jaheim, Turtle Hudson played some solid minutes. He did play some solid minutes. He also played some terrible minutes. And I thought his closeouts were not very good today. And then I just didn't look like he was up for the game at points. But he did play better. I thought maybe the last 8 minutes when he was required to play a little bit more with Dylan struggling with that left thigh contusion. Taxman says, when are we going to have a Birmingham event? we need to have one soon. I would think at some point in the spring. Once we get through the basketball season, we'll start thinking about that. And I know exactly where to do that at Soho Social, which has been kind of a good spot for us. And we've got some bunker guys who own that place, so I'm in on that. Mobile alum comes out from her slumber. Well, maybe not actually asleep. You know what I mean. We didn't even know she was here, but she says, Chip, count me in. She's certainly one of our Mobile regulars. Who will definitely be there for the event, which would be like Chip. Hopefully Papa McNasty and Mama McNasty can make that one. That would be terrific. Let's see. T-Tiger says Pat Adams is beyond bad. Not sure why he still has a job. I think in the referee or officiating rankings that Ken Palm does, he's like middle of the pack. Something like that. I don't think he's terrible, but he's not the best. That's for sure. Ephesians asks, when does spring practice start? I don't have a date yet. We do have a date for 8A, but it almost always starts in late February, and it will be a funner. It'll be more fun than usual covering spring practice because you're going to have, this will probably be a record, at least in the time that I've covered Auburn since 98, where you're going to have the most positional battles actively going on in spring. A lot of that's because of the transfer portal being such a big deal now, and also Auburn actually sacking up and winning the transfer portal this year, where I think last year they got a little too reactive. This year they were absolutely not that. They were very proactive, and I thought they pulled a lot of good players that they're going to need. So, we'll be able to see Jackson Arnold competing. We'll be able to see like Horatio and Singleton competing to try to get in there and see what they're looking like at wide out and all that kind of stuff. Also got actual legit competition on the offensive line with Mason coming in at right tackle. The guy from Virginia Tech, Xavier, coming in at left tackle. You're going to have Tutal coming back to compete there, and a lot of good things going on. Let's see, Mobile alum talking about the Orange Beach. I was going to say Mobile, the Orange Beach Bash coming up. Got to have Ravin there for sure. Gut Bucket needs to be there as well. Kanuman needs to finally show his face. He shows up all over the place, but hasn't been to that particular event. That's true. Small Victories jumps in with a super chat. Says, thanks for a great drain. Appreciate it. I hate Georgia. Do we love that, guys? We love that sentiment. And they lost, so all the better. Chip thinks that's a big W, just in a general sense. And I have to agree. Gut Bucket, by the way, for those of you who weren't at the event last year, Gut Bucket was playing a game and swung a hammer and got a nail into his hand, which sounds as painful as it looks. But the good news is that he was drunk as shit, and I don't think he was feeling a whole lot of pain at the time. And we got to rely on Bubby to take good care of him, get him to some medical attention, and he returned. There was a part 2 of his day because he's a badass, so that was good. Let's see. Russell says, yes, because we need to sign 32 wideouts instead of interior linemen. Look, man, they actually got some tackles this year, which is a step forward ideologically, so hopefully that's progress. It'd be awesome. Let's see. Patrick W. says, please come to Gut Bucket's barbecue contest in Foley. I still have the nail. Mobile alum reminds me, JG, neither were you. No, I wasn't ragging on Gut Bucket for being drunk. In fact, I was praising it for being drunk because it helped a lot. And I was definitely drinking for sure. Although no bourbon naps for JG. That's a philosophical stance that I have, no bourbon naps. And to be fair, number 19 didn't take one this year either, so it might have been my fault that he had it 2 years ago. Maybe the bourbon I brought was too strong. I don't know. Spicy Pieces, offensive line has to improve. It was abysmal last year. It was not good. I think it was worse the year before, but I would still stand for it being abysmal last year. It's just the year before it was atrociously awful. How can it be this bad? But I really do like Xavier Chaplin at left tackle. I feel like he's going to be good for them. I don't think he's going to be amazing, but he's going to be good. And that's going to be the first good left tackle they've had in a minute. And I think that's a good tone setter for everything you try to do offensively, right? We're talking about football here. Yeah. So it'll be a fun spring. A lot of stuff to talk about. Let's see if Ken Palm has updated the situation. Yeah, they have updated for Georgia. So let me go ahead and get a screenshot of the latest Ken Palm data, which is going to shock nobody here because you guys keep up with the team and yada, yada, yada. Now that we have gone and combed over these stats, here's the latest Ken Palm data. The Auburn Tigers looking ahead. So they've got a full week off before the Tennessee game, which is going to be inside Neville. Then you got a midweek game at LSU and then at Ole Miss. I think that game at Ole Miss is going to be a struggle. But I also think that Janai will be back by then, so that'll change the dynamic of that a little bit. But we all know Tennessee's a really good team. I don't necessarily know that we all realize how good Ole Miss is. They got a ball club. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. And you still got to deal with Florida, but that's going to be in the Nev. And you're still going to have there's a Kentucky game lurking in there and an Alabama game away in the hangar. So there's some tough games ahead, but it's the SEC. And you know what to expect. It's going to be rough. Spicy P says, we're off until Tennessee next Saturday. Please, God, let us have Johnny back. Just please. Ephesians says, JG, I really want a rolled up newspaper to the butt of them dogs. I want to pet that dog. And I actually got a go get in your kennel type performance. However, it's a W, and the dog got disciplined. War Eagle, brother. Hey, like Chip says, he calls that one a W. At the end of the day, we can fuss over numbers, but it's still a W. And who would have thought that we would see an Auburn team put up a Ken Palm, statistical profile like this? It really is something. Number one in offensive efficiency, 16 in defense. And they've won a hell of a lot of games, 10 in a row now. In a tough conference, in the number one conference in the country. So it's good stuff. Russell, let's see what he's trying to say. Here's him if he's on Hugh's staff. Son, you're 6'5 plus and have the reach of a condor? No. Thanks for stopping by. I'd rather have a short guy with short arms who's not athletic. That's who I'm really looking for. So I appreciate you coming by, but I'd really like to have a tackle who's 6'2 with short arms. That's what I'm looking for. So sorry. I hope you have a great career at Alabama, LSU, Georgia. I was thinking Jonah Williams, the son of an Auburn graduate, the grandson of an Auburn graduate who wanted to play at Auburn and was told, this place isn't for you. He went to Alabama, became a high draft pick. He hasn't been a great pro, but I don't care about that. He was a good college player. Canoeman says dubs are dubs, especially on the road without the top player in the country. There's no doubt about that. I don't want to obfuscate that fact. It's a good win. Georgia's been super, super good at home. They're a good team anyway, but they're really good at home. And then you go over there and you win without Janai Broome, and you overcome self-inflicted problems. I mean, missing that many shots at the hole is essentially unprecedented. Probably not in history, but for Auburn, it's very unusual. And you still overcome that by playing your balls off on defense and rebounding well and finding a way to make it work. So much credit on that. And so overall, I give Auburn an A for finding a way to win the game without Janai and really without Dylan in a lot of important parts of the game too. So that's just the truth. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I feel like a stranger jumps in with another super chat. This guy's been off the chain today, and appreciate you, bro, with a super chat. Purdue locked up at Oregon late in the first half. Reminder, our Tigers smoked Purdue in Birmingham, which I was blessed to see. We are number 2 in Ken Palm now. Duke, the hated Duke Blue Devils, are now number 1. I will be at the Ole Miss game in Oxford town. Mere hundreds of yards away from the old Tad Pad at the new pavilion there. Fun place to watch a basketball game, and I'm glad you get a chance to go, bro. Spicy P says, we turned away offensive linemen. We shouldn't turn away the milkman if he wants to play left tackle. Oh, no. This was a few years ago, but yes, Jonah Williams, absolutely told him thanks, but no thanks. Because an assistant coach at Auburn had decided that he wasn't good enough to play at this level. And then he went to Alabama. I don't know if he was an All-American, but he was damn good. And was a high draft pick in the NFL. Multimillionaire. He's been okay as a pro, but whatever. I don't care about that. I just care about what he did in college, right? Thank you, Feel Like a Stranger. You were our first super chat today, and it looks like you're going to be our last two, and you also had one in the middle there. So thank you for your support, as always. And also thank you and everybody else for praying for Bill. J-Dub and Bridget's dad, J-Dub's father-in-law, who was taken off the ventilator like within the last hour. And so that's definitely a good sign. That's a step in the right direction. So we appreciate that. Let's see. I wonder if, just out of curiosity, if this thing will show where Courtney's at. I'm going to find my iPhone and see if it locates Courtney. It just shows her being at the Birmingham airport. No updates yet. I'm pretty sure she's not there. Cass DP says, these are the road wins I expect Bruce to utilize in teaching and growing our team. That's fair. This sort of game is better to teach than last year at Bammer MSU road losses. This is a great one because you get the satisfaction of getting the W, and then you also have the satisfaction of not having Dylan, so you lose both your post. You lose Olajuwon and Ralph Sampson, and then you still find a way to win on the road against a good Georgia team that's very good at home. So that's great. Let's see, Knuman with his encouraging comments as usual. Great show as always. Great news on J-Dub's father-in-law. It's great news. Hopefully we can parlay this into true physical improvement, I guess, and get him up walking and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a process to get him out of that hospital, honestly, and back on his feet. But he's a fighter, and he's also got a lot of prayers behind him too, so that's good. That's a very, very good thing. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up there, guys. We've said it all. We've graded them. We've looked ahead. We've got a full week before the Tennessee game next week. I believe that Tennessee game is at nighttime. Is my belief. Yeah, it's going to be 7:30 Central, 8:30 for our friends in the Eastern time zone on the main ESPN Mothership Network, and that's going to be an absolute showdown. Again, game day is going to be in Auburn for that game. Chip says the Raiders team store is at the mall between Mandalay Bay and the Luxor. She's going to be staying in that area, yes. Send AA with money. You want to know how big of a cuck I am? See, this is a true story. So she's going to the Magic Mike review, and she actually had me go to the bank yesterday to get $5s that she could then tip the strippers. And I did it. I sent her to Las Vegas with a wad of $5 bills. I don't know if that makes me a good husband or a bad husband, but it makes me one of the husbands of all time. I Feel Like a Stranger says, when do we find out where Henry Patton went? What a great question. I was just wondering this recently, and I looked it up because he left us, and he's got a job, or at least I spoke to his future boss. Yeah, I spoke to his future boss about him. It just says something soon on his Twitter bio. I'm not going to spoil it for you. For him, I'm definitely going to spoil it for him. So, but we'll find out. I mean, the hint is that he's not going to. Anyway, BRT says some stories don't need to be told. Yeah, well, I know it makes me look bad, but the real story doesn't need to be told is where that money goes. That's once that leaves my house, I don't need to know anything else about it. I'm writing it off, and don't tell me. Just let him finish. I mean, I don't want to know. I want to pet that dog. Can I pet that dog? So I wish I could tell you where Henry was going, but I'm fired up. He'll get there eventually. I don't know what the hang up is, but that's not really my problem. BRT, glad to see you here, bro. Jumping in here late. It's appreciated to have you around. Super underrated chatter in the group for sure. And a purveyor of knowledge. Russell says, fantastic, JG. Take care, fellas. Monday, January 20th at noon will be glorious. God bless America. There he is. Yes, Chip says, Henri covering the France football team national, the FFF. Yes, it could be. I would want to spoil it, though. I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. With Courtney gone, that means I have the house all to myself. And that means for the next 20 minutes, I'm going to play a game of Warzone and consider what I'm going to do with the rest of my day. I hope that you guys have an amazing day. Let me say this. I hope that your day continues to be amazing because you've already watched Auburn beat Georgia in something. In this case, it was men's basketball. And that's a great start of any day. We've just hit the 3-hour mark, too. Yes. All right, guys, wrap it up there. I'll see you guys for sure on this stream next Saturday. I'll definitely see you guys. 98% of you guys are on the bunker because I recognize all the handles. So I'll be seeing you there all day, every day. But, yeah, see you guys next time. Till then, peace, love.